Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to Wrestling Days Live. We are live for this week's Smackdown and we have got a lot to talk about. There is a lot for us to go through. There's lots of news, lots of rumors, lots of things that have broken through today. We've got a lot to preview as well. Of course, this is the go home show for TLC. There is a lot going on. Big shout out to everyone that's in the chat and everyone that's joining us. Hopefully, the audio is okay. I noticed that we did a members only stream yesterday and my microphone seemed to be quite quiet. I've really just been playing around with it to try and make it a bit louder. It's still coming across as quite quiet. So I don't know if I've got brand new technical problems and maybe a microphone is starting to fail. I mean, rest assured, if it is, I have actually got a very good backup that I could switch out. But yeah, a little bit concerned that this microphone might be on its last legs. Which, in all fairness, I haven't had it all that long, but it does do a lot of work, in all fairness. So even though I've not had it for the longest, it certainly has been made to work. So yeah, hopefully it is a bit low, says Tyler. Yeah, Resting Days fan says it is a bit low as well. I think the quality should be all right, but it might be a touch quiet. And honestly, I've got no idea how to turn that up. The little volume thing I've got is actually maxed out. So I can't turn it up on OBS any louder. This is the loudest I can actually get it. So I'm having to sit a bit closer. I'm having to talk a bit louder. And I've got it turned up. And this is max. We are maxing out right now. So yeah, I'm sure it's kind of in line with where it normally is, but yeah, I will have a look at it. As I said, I do actually have a backup one, but I don't really want to be messing with that because I think you've got to like set it up and stuff like this, but whatever, right? I'm sure this will get us through the show. So shout out to everyone that's joining us. David says maybe the hacker has got hold of your equipment. Technical issues have really smashed the streams recently. There's been quite a few where we've had like internet problems and now microphones seem to be on the blink, and I don't know, man, there just seems to be a few technical problems recently. So ending the year 2020 the way that we would expect, if any year is going to end with problems, it's going to be 2020, but high hopes for 2021. So, with that being said, hello everyone. I hope you are well. As I said, hopefully I've explained any mic problems, but I think it's still coming across. I think you can still hear me, and hopefully it's still nice and clear. So, quite a bit to talk about. Obviously, the news breaking today that The Rock is going to be on Talking Smack. I actually have got no idea why. I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know why he's there. I'm very excited, but I'm not expecting anything from it. I'm not expecting this to be the start of like the build for Rock and Roman or anything like that. I'm expecting him to say he's probably disappointed in Roman. There might be a few little shots fired or something like that, get a bit of a buzz going, but I'm not expecting it really to lead to anywhere. So just cool that they've managed to get him, really, and that he's going to be
Maniacs Gaming is a legend. They donated $5 via a super chat. What's up, Days? Hope all well. Ended up with a second Chanel.
Chanel? Oh, you've got a second Chanel. I didn't even know you had a first Chanel. Very expensive Chanel. So the fact that you're sitting there with two Chanels is very impressive. I'm very impressed. Coaster Maniacs Gaming. Hello. What's up, Days? Hope you are well. I've ended up with a second channel. Wow, very cool. Hope you're having fun with that. And yeah, I know that you are doing a lot of gaming stuff at the moment. So anyone watching that's into, is it still Jack in the Box stuff? If Coaster will put it in. Coaster will put it in the chat as to what he does. So shout out to you, Coaster. Hope you are well. So yes, tonight we've got The Rock straight after. Now, I don't think I can watch Talking Smack unless it's on the network, but I don't think it is. I think they show it on FS1. I mean, tonight it's all on FS1. If you're watching this, and you might not know, it's all on FS1. It's not on Fox because apparently there's other sports, right, that take precedent. So it means that the wrestling has to move. That's going to mean a bit of a knock in the ratings, but I think Fox will understand. So probably a really good week, actually, to have The Rock around so that people, are fully aware that it's all moved to FS1. So we've got The Rock on Talking Smack. We've also got Bayley versus Bianca Belair, and very excited for that. Bayley versus Bianca Belair should be... a match I was expecting for TLC, to be honest, but I'll take it wherever. Carmella is going to have a champagne toast, so might be all right. I kind of like the end segment last week when she smashed Sasha with the bottle. So this champagne toast could be fun. We've got Street Profits taking on Ziggler versus Rude. That absolutely won't be fun. And we've got the Sammy Awards. So Sami Zayn saw the Slammy Award nominations and said that they looked biased. It looked like it was just corporate rewarding people that corporate wanted to reward. And so he's come up with his own Sammy Awards. So we've got that tonight as well. So Rock on Talking Smack, Bayley versus Bianca, Carmella Champagne Toast, Street Profits versus Ziggler and Rude, and the Sammy Awards. So we've got all of that. But we've got some big news, some really interesting stuff to kind of get our teeth into. Probably the biggest news is the fact that the Raw ratings were really bad. We've been talking about this on Wrestling Escape Pod. I think we mentioned it on Wednesday's stream as well. The Raw ratings were awful. I think they came in at about 1.5, going down to about 1.2 at times, which is the lowest ever. And apparently USA Network are very upset. They want WWE to be more dark and violent. They don't want to move away from PG. They just want more dark and violent. So that's...
Hayden Garrett is a legend. They donated $2 New Zealand dollars via a super chat. Hey Days, how are you doing, my friend?
Hello, Hayden. Hope you are well, dude. Really do appreciate the support. Yeah, thank you for joining us as always. So, yeah, how interesting is that? Raw ratings actually upsetting the USA Network. Now, that's big news because WWE without the networks isn't much. Because obviously you've got just over, 1.5 million WWE Network subscribers. Might be interesting if ultimately, Raw and SmackDown was to live on there. But to be honest, they would suffer with exposure. They wouldn't be getting as many casual fans. They wouldn't be getting any of that sweet TV money either. To be honest, I just don't think it would work. They really need the TV networks, which means they really need decent ratings. And it's just interesting that they've got to a point now where the ratings are starting to upset the networks. I think we've all watched for a number of years the ratings kind of going down, and we've all wondered at what point is this going to be a problem? It's a problem. We've got there. We've finally arrived. We're finally there where it's now a problem. Seemingly all this time, WWE just didn't seem to be overly bothered by the ratings. I think they've done some stuff this year in particular. I think we're starting to see some matches like Bayley Bianca, for example, tonight, not at TLC, where they are starting to put big matches onto the shows that you would have expected on TLC. I feel like I've said that quite a few times during 2020 of I don't understand why we're getting it now and we're not getting it at the pay-per-view. But I suppose, it's to try and help the ratings however they can. And, at the moment, it's just not working when it comes to Raw. So I mean, I must admit, personally, I've felt the past 3 weeks in particular have been
Jake
awful.
Weeks is a legend.
Really
They
awful.
donated £1.99 via a super chat. Do you watch Star Wars? It's been so good lately.
Hello, Jake Weeks. Shout out to you. I haven't actually. One of the things that I would really love to do is I would love to sit down, just like for a day. It would take longer than a day, but I think I would love to just. I mean, honestly, I think if I was off on Christmas Day, I mean, we are actually streaming on Christmas Day because it's a week today, isn't it? Christmas is a week away. So Smackdown will be on Christmas Day, and so we will be streaming. But if ever I did get a day off at some point ever, I would love to get some beers, get some snacks, sit down, and just work my way through the Star Wars films, because I've watched the original ones a few times. I've seen 2 of the 3 prequels. I've never seen the first prequel, you know. No, hang on. I've seen the first prequel. It's the second one. Is it Attack of the Clones? Never seen that. I think that's where Yoda fights, and I've never seen that. I would like to see it, but obviously people don't really rave about the prequels. I haven't seen any of the new films. I haven't seen Solo. I haven't seen Force Awakens. I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen Rogue One. I haven't seen any of them, right? So in my life, I've seen 5 Star Wars films. I haven't seen Attack of the Clones. I haven't seen anything recent. I've seen 0 of The Mandalorian. I've never seen any Clone Wars animated series or anything like that. I mean, I don't pretend that I'm like a big Star Wars fan, but I did like the original 3. I got something out of the prequels. Like, I'm not a hardcore fan, so I didn't hate them. Like, I don't know. I just watched them and they were what they were. I didn't hate them. But I suppose if you're really into it, I understand. I'd have to rewatch them again. But yeah, I'd love to sit down and just work through them. I'd love to see. I don't want to watch like the newer films without kind of reminding myself of the previous ones. Like, so I feel like a lot of references are going to pass me by. And I feel like there might be quite a few moments where there's a bit of, do you remember that? Yeah? Do you remember that from the second film? And I don't want to miss those moments. So I really wanted to go back and watch the originals first. It's just time. I ain't done it. To be honest, I haven't done it. But all I hear is great stuff about The Mandalorian. So I would like to watch that. But again, I don't want to watch that until I've rewatched the films. Because again, I feel like it's going to be full of... Yeah, do you remember that? Do you remember that from like Attack of the Clones? And I'd be like, no. Yeah, I hear it's great. I hear The Mandalorian is great in particular, but no, I haven't seen it. And they've just announced a load for next year, haven't they? Of like new Star Wars stuff. So watch this space if you're a Star Wars fan. Actually, what that does is it brings me quite nicely onto something I wanted to talk about wrestling wise. There's a little statement that's been made by Corey Taylor from Slipknot, and he's talking about Star Wars, and he's talking about wrestling, and he's talking about how toxic the fan bases are in both. Now, I've actually got his statement written down, which I'll read to you, but obviously there's a lot of swearing, so I'm going to cut out all
Luke's
of the
World
swearing.
is a legend. They donated £1.99 via a super chat. I am a hot potato. I'm back, baby. How are you?
Shout out to you, Luke's World. Hope you are well, my friend. Hot potato. I'm a hot potato. Yeah, I hope you are well, buddy. Thank you for joining us. Just going to read out what Corey Taylor of Slipknot and Stone Sour fame has said about the toxic fan bases in wrestling and Star Wars. So, as I said, I'll cut out the swearing. So, he said, you talk about toxic fandom. I feel like that kind of started with wrestling. When kayfabe died, it really became a competition of who could find out the best bits backstage. I remember the horrendous moment of Goldberg-Lesnar at WrestleMania 20 when they were both leaving the company. People knew about this months in advance. Why they didn't change the card, I'll never know. But that was the most painful 5 minutes of my life. Sitting there going, no one is enjoying this. All the fans were booing. It completely took it all away. That was the first real hint to me that something was going on. People were trying too hard to know what was going on, whether it was the pretense of it or the selfish notion of just being able to say, well, I knew that all along. Those people ruin so many good things. I just wish they would shut up. I swear, it's awful. Just be lucky that we're getting this in the first place, he urged wrestling fans. What are you going to do when all of this goes away? I knew it was going to do that. Man, just shut up. It's the same thing that happened with Star Wars. Star Wars is a perfect example of people ruining the product. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing that's going to be like the original trilogy. None of it is going to be as bad as the prequels either. Was Solo a perfect movie? No. But it's not garbage either. The way that people piled on that movie is embarrassing. They should be ashamed of themselves. So, that's what Corey Taylor said. Massively edited by myself there, as every other word was a swear word. But, yeah, that's basically what he said. He said that, like, all these people racing to find out the behind-the-scenes stuff is what's ruining wrestling. And I do think there's a point there. I understand what he's saying. I wonder if he's kind of putting the blame in the wrong area, though, because I do also think that you do watch sometimes, and if you didn't know what was happening behind the scenes, a lot of it just wouldn't make any sense at all. It wouldn't make any sense at all. Like, you sort of need to know if someone's injured as to why they're not around. Why is that person not around? Why are they not pushing that person? You'd be upset as to why some of your favorites weren't being pushed. You'd be upset as to why people were replaced. Why have they just replaced Roman at WrestleMania? Why is Roman not at WrestleMania anymore? Like, if we didn't know the behind the scenes stuff, we wouldn't have the answers to those things. So I kind of understand what he's saying, that, knowing what the future plans are can definitely ruin the plans now. Like, we all know that Roman's going to be defending the belt at WrestleMania, so that means he's not losing it on Sunday. I totally understand that. I totally get that. I understand that side of things. So I do think there's some truth in what he's saying. I suppose in a way, like, isn't that down to WWE, though, kind of stopping the leaks? Isn't that their fault? I mean, if someone's going to find out some information, they're not going to sit on it, are they? Who's going to do that? Do you know what I mean? Because you could say that about anything. If I found out what was going to happen during the Bachelorette, I would probably do a video on it. I'd be like, okay, guys, I just found this out. It's going to be Tony. Tony's the winner. Don't ask me how I know, but it's Tony. Tony wins the Bachelorette, right? You're not gonna sit on that information. So if you've got someone that's finding out all this stuff, I kind of get why they're putting it out there, because there's people that want to know. But equally, I do understand what he's saying, that it is ruining wrestling as well, because this is something we didn't have back in the day. These people existed, but they didn't have the platforms to share it. Your Dave Meltzers was putting it into a newsletter that you had to subscribe to, but there wasn't an internet that it was being shared on, or if there was, it was so small, you really had to know where you were going. 99% of the fans didn't know what was going on behind this. I'd say 99% of the fans still were debating whether it was real or not, because kayfabe had been kept strong. It wobbled over the years, but I do think there was a good chunk of the audience, maybe not 99%, but a real good chunk of the audience that still believed that, or certainly there was always that seed of doubt. I think even Jim Cornette has said some people knew, but maybe they just never knew to what extent it was scripted. Okay, is it the occasional fight, or is it the promos? Is it the matches? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you weren't getting these answers. So now that it's all out there, now that we've got to the point where Undertaker is doing cameos and giving shout-outs to All Elite Scooby-Doo, do you know what I mean? We are in a very strange place. But, yeah, I thought that was an interesting point that Corey Taylor made. But I do think there's more to it than than what he says. I think I think WWE could be tighter with their leaks. I also think they could maybe move their storylines a little bit more to reflect real life. Do you know what I mean? Like, they came out and said that Becky was pregnant, and that's why she gave up the belt, and that was totally the right thing to do. They could have done a storyline, and then she could have gone off and been pregnant. That would have been fine. But I kind of like the fact that they acknowledged something in real life, but then they didn't seem to acknowledge Seth. Do you know what I mean? Like, Seth's going to be a father, and that was just, there was no part of that in the storyline. Instead, he seemed to have some kind of mental breakdown where he thought he was the Messiah. Like, I understand you got to tell stories, but I just wonder if maybe reflecting real life a bit more, might just be, might make things feel a bit grittier. Might, don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Like, they're debating at the moment whether Charlotte and Andrade should work together. They have acknowledged Bianca and Montez Ford. So they are doing it, but they just don't do it with everything. And actually, I'd say one of their biggest successes of recent years has been Roman's return. Do you know what I mean? Roman coming back, and this whole family storyline has been incredible. You can only do that because it's based on reality. Like, they are family. Him and Jey Uso are family, the Anoa'i family. And do you know what I mean? It's so gripping and compelling because obviously you've got all their backstory, their history, and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's more to it than just telling, like, Dave Meltzer to shut up. I feel like there is more to it than that. But, yeah, really interesting. One that we can really get our teeth into. But unfortunately, not one that we can stay on for long. Not one that we can stay on for long because there is lots of other things for us to talk about. Let me just jump to a couple in the chat. Harley says, I wonder why The Rock is on Talking Smack. I can't wait to see the interaction between him and Paul Heyman. I don't know why, to be honest. Dylan says, who is the Riot Squad wrestling tonight? As they said to watch them. Maybe Billy and Natalia again? I don't know. I've not even seen that announced. They doesn't Liv normally say watch me most weeks. And even some weeks she turns out to not be on the show. So she could be on. They might be on. I don't know. I've not seen anything announced. I went onto WWE's YouTube channel and their website, sorry.
Vape Ross Vape is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. Are you telling me the Irish whip isn't legit?
Do you know what? I'm not going to break kayfabe. I'm not going to tell you that nothing isn't legit, but just open your eyes. Just open your eyes. Yeah, open your eyes, Vape Ross. Dat King, shout out to you. Says, did you get a chance to watch Kabashi or any of the recommendations? Actually works all the people. This question actually works for all the people that were there. I didn't. I mean, in all fairness, I didn't expect to get a chance to watch it straight away because I am actually editing some videos at the moment. And not only that, there's quite a few fights coming up for UFC this weekend. So I was trying to start my research a bit early for UFC. Of course, it is the final UFC of the year. So we've got that coming up. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely on my to watch list. I do want to watch that match, but no, unfortunately not yet. Yes, I said there was other things to talk about. So we've spoken about the Raw ratings. We've spoken about the comments made by Corey Taylor, which, as I said, I thought was very interesting. Gabe Sapolsky. Okay, now Gabe Sapolsky is a very important person. He actually co-founded Ring of Honor. He was the vice president for Dragon Gate USA. And he also co-founded Evolve. He's also worked for ECW. So he's been around in the wrestling business for like 30-odd plus years. And he's achieved a lot. Now, he works for WWE now. And I think he kind of came on board when they bought Evolve. I think that's how they managed to get him. So I haven't actually known what he's been up to. But a report, I think I'm right in saying, dropped today that is very, very interesting. Apparently, Triple H has asked Gabe Sapolsky to get a team together to create an NXT for NXT. Exactly 1000% what we said they should be doing. When they bought Evolve, I said, I wonder if that's going to live on the network and be the new NXT. I said, I understand people aren't going to want NXT to change, but it has changed. We need to accept the fact that NXT has changed. It is not the 1 hour developmental WWE network show that we all know and love. It's morphed and changed into a USA Network Wednesday night program that unfortunately shows signs of being a little bit desperate for ratings and not really getting much right at the moment. I know that a lot of people that watch it on a Wednesday tend to give it decent reviews, but week after week after week, its ratings tend to be down in like the 600,000. They're not doing anything that's kind of really catching people's attention. People that watch it tend to enjoy it. I watched a lot of it this year, and I have to say, I think that it's nowhere near the level that it was when it was on the WWE Network. I think they are struggling. I don't think, first of all, they've got the star power for 2 hours every week. And not only that, I also think that some of the booking decisions have just been, mind-blowing. I mean, I'm not even talking about Pat McCarthy. I mean, like, just even the Drake Maverick storyline was... And the way they dealt with the Velveteen Dream controversy as well. I mean, like, week after week, Fire Velveteen Dream was trending. For a company and a promotion that seemed to listen and be so connected with its fans, it started to have a disconnect to the point where we were even saying some of their key fans are now in the crowd at AEW. Like, it's not been a great year for NXT. It has not been a great year. So how interesting now that Triple H has seemingly asked Gabe Sapolsky if he will start an NXT for NXT. And I actually think this is really exciting news. I think if you're an NXT fan, you should be really excited, because what that's going to do is it's going to take some of that green talent that maybe shouldn't be on TV. It's going to take them and put them onto this new show. It's going to leave you just the stars that are ready, just the stars that are just that step below the main roster, that are your Johnny Garganos, if you will. I'm not saying that Johnny's a step below the main roster. He could hang on a main roster, but he's been ready for a long time. He's one of their biggest stars, but he hasn't made that jump yet. He hasn't gone up and where the pressure is to get the ratings. I understand there's pressure on NXT to get ratings, but there's no denying, I don't think Vince cares what NXT does, right? The pressure is on Raw and SmackDown to get the ratings. I would imagine you're under a lot more pressure as a superstar if you're on one of those shows than if you're on NXT. So, I kind of feel like they're going to get rid of some of that green talent. You might even see, a bit of a shake-up as well with NXT getting some more star power as a result of AEW doing so well against them. All of a sudden, the conversation in the past few weeks, really since Sting arrived, the conversation now has moved from NXT versus AEW. All of a sudden, AEW is now being compared to Raw. We're getting to the point now where AEW is beating Raw in that key demographic, that 18 to 49. Even if it's not beating them on total viewers, it's beating them on that 1849 demo. And all of a sudden now, it started to become AEW on a Wednesday against Raw on a Monday. I think the Wednesday night war is pretty much done. I mean, whenever I get the ratings, I fully expect AEW to win. Now I just look to see how the shows do against themselves. I want to know, where's AEW in comparison to 1 million? Because past few weeks it's been around that 1 million mark. I don't expect it to be at 1 million, but how far below is it? And then NXT, where is it in comparison to 650,000? If it's above that, it's been a good week for them. If it's below that, it's been a bad week. If it was to get 500 and some thousand, it's been a disaster. So I don't really look at those ratings anymore in comparison, other than to compare to themselves. So NXT getting its own little developmental brand could massively help them. You know, someone gets a bit of a buzz on this new show, you bring them up to NXT, hopefully that buzz follows them. And as well, it means that you're kind of cutting out the weaker segments, you're just having more talent. Plus also, if Vince does move just a few stars to NXT, just to give it that bit more star power, I mean, it's competing against, well, meant to be competing against, supposedly competing against Sting, Matt Hardy, Jake the Snake, Arn Anderson, Cody, Kenny, the Young Bucks, FTR. Like, the list goes on and on. John Moxley, I didn't even mention John Moxley. The list goes on and on as to, like, the stars that are over on AEW. You kind of struggle to compare rosters when you start going down the NXT one. So if they're going to take this serious, they need more star power. I understand people will be like, but it's developmental. Blah, 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 blah. Well, looks like there's a new developmental on the way. Looks like NXT is getting an NXT, and it's being run by a very, very good person that co-founded Ring of Honor, the person that co-founded Evolve, the vice president of Dragon Gate USA. So it's very exciting news. This is what I'm saying. There's some big news that's coming through. But we're not even done there. There's even more, right? We found out that it's Drew Gulak and Adam Pearce that's running these training sessions. You know, the ones that the big guys have got to go and have done. Otis actually came out and said, I don't understand why people are so surprised that we're training, because this is something that goes on all the time. Like, we used to hone our craft on house shows. We can't do that anymore. But all the time there's people going to the PC. It is a tool for us to improve our in-ring abilities. It's there for us to use. And all of a sudden, it's a big surprise that we're using it. I completely agree with him. It's exactly what we said. I completely agree with him. It's like, I think it's great that they're using it and they're trying to improve little things here and there. So I completely agree with Otis. I think that surely working and training, that's exactly what you want to see him doing. So, yeah, but what I didn't know was that it was Drew Gulak and Adam Pearce that were running those sessions. So Drew Gulak and Adam Pearce, not the biggest guys, so hard to know how they're training the likes of Dio Madden and Otis and Keith Lee. Do you know what I mean? Like, hard to know how they're training them in How to Be a Monster. How to Be a Monster by Drew Gulak. I mean, like, an incredible worker, and I'm sure that he understands the theory. I'm sure that he knows enough about wrestling and knows enough about big guys to say, like, you know, this is what you should be doing. But I did find it surprising that those were the names that they went with. Adam Pearce, for those that don't know, fantastic wrestler in his own right, multiple-time NWA champion. You know, just really big out on, like, the indie scene, really. To my knowledge, doesn't have a history with WWE, but obviously does now, kind of seen as the authority figure these days. And he is running those classes with Drew Gulak. The other thing I've got, obviously, Ben Carter, talking of big names, you know, made a bit of a buzz. That buzz, you know, you can create a buzz, and he certainly did on AEW. Well, he's gone over now to NXT UK. He's gone to NXT UK. They've done a little video package for him, and which looks awesome. And he's gone over there. So, I'm kind of excited to just have a little look at that. Definitely his debut. See how they present him. See what kind of gimmick he has, if he has a gimmick, what his entrance music's like, his logos, just the presentation of him. But it's really cool. I can't remember. I think it was Seth that said it reminds him of a young Dynamite Kid. And you can definitely see that in the clips that they showed. So really good video package. I did retweet it. So it is on the Wrestling Days Twitter account if you wanted to watch that, on Ben Carter, who's gone to NXT UK. And the final bit of news I've got, because we've got 20 minutes, that'll allow us to go into the chat. The final bit of news I had was Kevin Owens was meant to go back to NXT. That was the plan this year, but obviously a lot of plans changed. And not only that, he wants to work at NXT UK. He is very interested in working at NXT UK. So I was very surprised at that. I don't know if he was going to do maybe a takeover. I could imagine that, him doing like a match at takeover. I think that would be awesome. Kevin Owens coming over to NXT UK definitely gives NXT UK a bit of a boost. And it really needs it. It's got some great wrestlers. It has some great matches and great action. But what it doesn't have is any buzz. The only buzz that I can remember it having was that match against Dragunov, Volta Dragunov. That definitely, caught people's attention. Outside of that, it's not really had any buzz. And obviously, it's been shut down for most of this year. I think it went into shutdown around March, opened back up about September time, something like that. So it has missed a lot of the year. But, it definitely needs a bit of a buzz. I think Ben Carter will bring that. And who knows, 2021, maybe we'll see Kevin Owens. So there we go. That's all the kind of big news that we've got. We don't know what The Rock's doing, but John says Kevin Owens versus Volta would be fire. It really would. It really would. Mike says Firefly Inferno match at TLC. Anthony says Taya Valkyrie has departed Impact and is in talks with WWE, according to Fightful. Dane Films says, Days, who would you have Drew McIntyre's WrestleMania opponent be? At this point, I would say Drew defending the championship or fighting for the championship. Who would I have him face at WrestleMania? To be honest, I would do Roman. I would probably do Roman. I think at the moment we're looking at Roman Goldberg at WrestleMania, and I really don't want that. I don't mind Roman Goldberg at, say, Royal Rumble. 'Cause honestly, Royal Rumble is the draw at Royal Rumble, isn't it? People watch the Royal Rumble pay-per-view for the Royal Rumble. I don't really care what the champions are doing. So Goldberg Roman, fine. If you're going to do it there. But not at WrestleMania. Not at WrestleMania. That's meant to be where the boyhood dreams come true. It's not where the old men cause more pain. Do you know what I mean? More suffering for us fans. So, I don't want to see Roman Goldberg. Drew, hard to know who he would face, actually. Because obviously the rumors are Orton, Edge. So it can't be Orton or Edge. I mean, he could get a big name opponent. There's definitely people that he could face. And I understand people are going to say they're on different brands. I know that. But there's always ways around it. That's really not a problem. It's WrestleMania. They can do whatever they want. So I would do that. I'd be tempted to do that. I thought their match at Survivor Series was very compelling. And clearly we are building towards a big match between these two in the future. The rumors are that they can't do Rock Roman this year, or they don't want to because of the lack of fans. So they're looking at it for WrestleMania 38. Well, if that means that you can't do Drew Roman...
Mr. Otella is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. Love the tree. How festive.
Shout out to you, buddy. Hope you are well. Mr. Rotella, loving the tree. How festive. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It does bring a nice ambiance to the streams. So, hope you are well. So, yeah, Drew, I would do Drew Roman. If I could do anything, if you're going to allow me that freedom, I would do Drew versus Roman, champion versus champion. Winner becomes the undisputed WWE champion, and we go back to that. I'm not saying it has to be the same belt as what the undisputed belt was, but I think just one champion. I think we all just want one champion. There should be one champion. And with the history that those two have got and their Survivor Series match, that excites me. I mean, come on, that's huge. That's huge. Drew versus Roman, title versus title winner. We get one champion at the end. That's huge. So I feel like that's one of the biggest matches you can make. Certainly if the alternative is Roman versus Goldberg. Talking of Fiend, I don't know what he would do. Haven't heard what plans they've got for him for WrestleMania, to be honest. He could be an alternative. You could do maybe Drew Fiend, but I don't really want to see that, to be honest. I much prefer my first idea. Do you think Carmella can win? And do you think Carmella is a good wrestler? I think Carmella's fine in the ring. It's hard to say if she's a good wrestler because we haven't seen a great deal of Carmella. I think that she is always someone that has had... I can't say I've seen many, if any, like 4-star Carmella matches. Certainly not 5-star. I don't even know if I've seen 4-star. I might have seen the odd 3-star match from her. I think she's competent. I think she's got a few nice moves. I think she's relatively comfortable. I think she's kicked on a lot since NXT. NXT, she was borderline. Whereas now I would say she's all right. I think she could actually put on a really good match with a good opponent like Sasha. So I think Sasha Carmella has actually got potential to be decent. I don't know that it would reach the heights of a Sasha Asuka. I think Sasha Asuka, I think their SummerSlam match was incredible. Really, really incredible. I mean, you're going to get that from Asuka. She's one of the best workers, regardless of gender. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. Asuka's one of the best. Carmella's not that bracket. She's not that level, but she is passable. And I don't mean that in an offensive way. I mean it more as a compliment, actually, because I think a lot of people would say that she's rubbish. I don't agree with that. I think that she's actually got a few decent moves. I think that she's got the ability to do some nice transitions and reversals, and she works a decent pace. Her striking can be so-so, but she's got good kicks. I'll give her that. I'm not sure about her punching, but her kicks look quite good. She fires in some good kicks to the midsection, and she's passable. We saw, actually, she had a match with Sasha that was going really well. She was having a good match with Sasha. I think, was it just last week? So, yeah, I'm on board for seeing it. Do I think she can win? Yeah, sure. They seem to be giving her a push. I don't know that she will, but I think that she definitely could. But no, I don't know that she will. It's not a gimmick that I love. I don't love this Carmella gimmick yet. But I thought last week was good with her using the bottle, smashing it over Sasha. And I don't know, maybe there's potential for it to grow on me, but it's not quite there yet for me. Lauren says, what are your thoughts about Fiend Orton being Firefly Inferno match? Not a big fan of Inferno matches. I don't think they're that good as matches. I think visually they're quite fun. I think for kids they're very exciting. But actually match quality, they're not great. They're not great. It's hard to name a great Inferno match. I mean, Bray versus Kane. I just remember that match. Bray Wyatt, one of his first matches, it might have been his first match actually, at SummerSlam was an Inferno match against Kane. I just remember Rowan and Harper spending most of the match trying to find a way of interfering because it was done to keep them out. And like they ended up getting like a fire blanket, putting it over the flames, and that way they could get into the ring and interfere. So there's kind of like all this stuff that's going on. It's not really so much about the actual match. It's not about the wrestling. It's about all this other faff that goes on. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna have to say it's not for me. It's not for me. But I think there's probably people out there that are quite excited for it. I don't really know what a fun house Inferno match is. Is it just an Inferno match, and because it's got the Fiend in, they've put Funhouse or Firefly in front of it? That might be it. I'm not expecting... I don't know. I'm not expecting anything Firefly or Funhouse related other than the fact the Fiend is involved. So I think it's just a straight Inferno match. And if that's the case, it is what it is.
Joaquin Uribe is a legend.
Joaquin, shout out
They
to you.
donated $4.99 via a super chat. What superstar surprised you this year? Mine is Drew.
Shout out to you, Joaquin. I hope you are well. What superstar has surprised me this year is an excellent question. I think Seth has surprised me in a bad way. I mean, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to sit here and like lay into people. But I think where Roman went away, where Drew was trying to establish himself, I think that they needed Seth. I think Seth needed to step up. I think if ever they needed
Carmel is a legend.
Rollins,
they donated $4.99 via a super chat. Days. My dad is convinced that back in the WWF/Golden ERA days pro wrestling was real. Can you please say something that will prove it definitely was not?
I don't need to say anything. There's loads of shoot interviews. There's loads of stuff that you can find on YouTube where, people will sit down and talk about the behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. So just go onto YouTube. There's nothing that I need to say to prove that it wasn't real. You can just find clips on YouTube of Hogan doing a shoot interview, or you know what I mean, whatever era it was that you want to go back to. I'm pretty sure you would find something, some kind of interview where the actual wrestlers themselves involved will cut a promo, like a little backstage reveal for you. We've got to the point where I think pretty much every era has been revealed now as being scripted. So yeah, I mean, there's even like footage of Harley Race sitting down doing like shoot interviews and stuff, like talking about NWA, what it was like being world champion and all that kind of stuff. So even Lou Thez from the 50s, talking about, I mean, the whole reason why they had proper wrestlers be the world champion, because it was all scripted, but they had to have proper wrestlers be the world champion, because if someone went into business for themselves, if someone decided, now I'm going to be the world champion now, you needed the belt on someone that could deal with that situation. There's a story. I forget who was champion. It might have been someone like Adam Pearce was NWA champion at the time, right? Because obviously the NWA, massive when the territories were around in like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s at the start, yeah? NWA was huge. But by the time you get in towards the late 90s, it's all gone. It's all gone. It's just WCW, WWE, and ECW, isn't it? I mean, like, you've got these wrestling promotions, but they've got no power, they've got no momentum, they've got no viewers. Like, it's all just gone. So I think it was Adam Pearce that was like NWA champion, and he went into this toilet at an airport, and he was flying somewhere. He bumped into Lou Thez. I mean, fun fact, Lou Thez is on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Lou Thez invented loads of wrestling moves, one of the biggest names in the history of wrestling. Held the NWA World Championship for 7-8 years. Just honestly, massive, huge. Cannot put Lou Thez over enough. I think he passed away in the 90s, like end of the 90s. I can't remember the exact year. But anyway, whoever this NWA champion was at the time went into the airport toilets, and he saw Lou Thez, and he went up to him and he was like, "I'm really sorry to like introduce myself in the toilets, but I'm a wrestler as well." And Lou Thez was like, "Oh, that's amazing. What do you do?" And the guy was really embarrassed to admit that he was the current NWA champion, because back in the day, everyone knew who that was. And yet here's this guy who is the NWA champion, and even Lou Thez standing in front of him didn't have a clue, didn't even know this guy was in wrestling, let alone that he was the current NWA champion. And the one bit of advice when Lou Thez found out, he was like, "Oh, very cool, very cool. Bit of advice for you. Keep your wits about you. Yeah, because they will try and screw you over. The promoters will. The other wrestlers will. Any which way they can, they will try and screw you over." And the reason why Lou Thez was such a great champion for so long was because he was a legit shooter. If someone tried to take that belt off Lou Thez, he would have just out-wrestled him. He would have out-wrestled him, and he would have just kept the belt. So it's been scripted all along, pro wrestling. I say all along. I mean, in the you go back to the carnival days of the 1800s and whatever, there was legit fights there, and a few legit fights in the early 1900s. But even then, it was like largely scripted. The problem was that when it wasn't, it was going for hours. Like the fights would go for hours, and they would be super dull. And people started losing interest. They found that if they scripted it, they could make it a bit more exciting. They could make it a bit shorter, and the people would leave happy. So that's kind of how it evolved. That's where it came from. So it came from like the carnivals where you'd have people, challenging people, try and beat me if you can. And, you'd have shooters, people...
FFC Bingle is a legend. They donated £1.99 via a super chat. Inferno matches in Firefly Funhouse, apparently.
FFC Bingle says the Inferno match will be in the Firefly Funhouse. Oh, okay. Surprising. Wasn't expecting that. I expected it to have no relevance to the Firefly Funhouse. I kind of, you know what they're like. They say all this stuff, and it's just hype. Yeah, it's a Funhouse Inferno match because Bray's involved. So if it's in the actual Firefly Funhouse, that's interesting. I mean, I still don't care, but it's a bit more interesting. At least it gives potential for the set to burn down, doesn't it? So yeah, cool. Jim Gore says Luthez passed away in 2002. Thank you, Jim. That's later than I thought, actually. I would have said late 90s. So 2002. Legend. Days, what do you think the second NXT show is, says Anthony? I don't know. I mean, it's not starting until 2021, apparently. Well, I mean, it clearly, because we've only got a couple of weeks left of 2020. But, yeah, I don't know what it's called or... where it's based, or I'd imagine Florida. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, does that turn NXT to the third brand? You would hope so. But, yeah, watch this space. Back to that other question earlier about who's surprised me this year. Seth, as I said, I think he really needed to step up. I think that he really did try with this Messiah gimmick. I will give him that. They gave him this gimmick, and he really tried. He put everything into it, but it was just rubbish. Didn't result in great matches. I suppose it gave a few moments. I mean, there's no denying the eye for an eye match certainly got people's attention. I mean, people went crazy over that match because they wanted to know how are they going to do that. It was totally ridiculous. The loser of the match loses an eye. I mean, it's just staggeringly ridiculous. But, I mean, how that gets sanctioned and all of this. I mean, honestly, in 2020, WWE just straight up lost its mind. I have never known a year in WWE like this year. But then, have we ever known a year like 2020? So, personally, I can't wait to say goodbye to this year for many different reasons. And move on to 2021, where hopefully we can start getting some fans back. And I think that will maybe refocus things a bit more, Perhaps WWE have missed that immediate feedback. I don't know. Because it's a little bit different when you're telling people how to react over a headset. Right, can you all stick your thumbs up now, please? Thumbs up, yeah? Thumbs up in the Thunderdome. Thank you. That's a little bit more different, controlling the crowd. Because if they don't do as you say, you can just cut them off the TV. Can't really do that when they're there live, can you? So I think it's definitely missed that aspect, and maybe they're missing that feedback. I say that they might be missing the feedback. I think they certainly saw the ratings. I think they're very aware of the ratings. Days, can you see Seth, Cena, or Ambrose appearing in the Rumble since Moxley lost the belt? No. 100% no to Ambrose. 100% no. There's no way he's going back. I don't care that WWE have trademarked the name. Of course, they trademarked the name because they don't want AEW to have it. But it doesn't mean he's coming back. So, no to Ambrose. Cena, Seth, I mean, yes, I could see both. I could see both appearing in the Rumble. I mean, look, if these Raw ratings are going to stay where they are, WWE are going to start getting desperate. going to start getting desperate. You're going to start to see some names like that coming back around. Plus, you know, you might see them anyway as we get towards Royal Rumble. I don't know if you'd see them before, but they always tend to do something for the Rumble, don't they? And there's been a few years where they haven't, but by and large, you know, you tend to get something. So, yeah, Seth, I think that's the plan, in all fairness. I think the plan was to bring him back about Royal Rumble time. So, 100% to Seth. 50% for Cena. 0% for Ambrose. JB17 says, Days, I know there's a low chance, but what if Kyrie is going to team with Asuka? That would be cool. I think you're right. I think there's a low chance, but it would be very cool. I think the current favorite is Charlotte, which would also be cool. I mean, I know there's people out there that don't like Charlotte, and that's fine. I do. I think she's an excellent wrestler. I think that she is someone that is a decent promo. I think that she's a great heel. I think that she is someone that is not going to have fan support, doesn't need fan support, doesn't care if she gets... She might care a little. I don't know. But her dad was Ric Flair. Like, I'm pretty sure she knows how to work heel. So, and I think she's a great heel. I think she's a great wrestler. So, looking forward to having her back. Right, let's go down. I'm trying to get into the Thunderdome, but it's full, says Luke. It's very popular. Yeah, it's very, very popular. Are you excited about TLC? I am excited in the sense of you never know what they're going to do. Like, they can do anything. That's the great thing with wrestling, is they can do anything, right? They shouldn't do anything. There's definitely things they shouldn't do, but they can do anything. And you never know what you're going to get. You never know where the story's going to go. You never know if someone's going to return. You always sort of feel like they would save something for the pay-per-view shows. I think they're also coming off a very, very poor Survivor Series. I thought Survivor Series was awful. I thought Undertaker's thing was fine. I think it could have been done better, but I think it's what he wanted. And honestly, that's probably the most important thing. You know, he had his friends there. I was watching that video. There's a little documentary. It's 20 minutes, backstage, little documentary about him with his friends. And do you know what I mean? I mean, it just seems like a really nice vibe, nice atmosphere. They were all really excited to be there. And I know, like, the way it was presented was a bit strange, of them coming down to the ring, then disappearing, and then Vince. And I get all of that. But if it's what he wanted, then who are we to say so? So, yeah, TLC, I can't say I'm massively looking forward to any of the matches in particular. I think it's very predictable. I think that you can pretty much pick out who's going to win, but you just never know with the pay-per-views, do you? They can go any which way. So I'm just hoping that I'm going to be entertained. That's it. I just want to get entertained. Just entertain me. Just entertain me. That's the arrangement, isn't it? I'll tune into your show if you promise to entertain me. And that is something Raw could learn. Right, we are going over to SmackDown, my friends. We are going over to SmackDown. Don't forget, SmackDown is on FS1 tonight. It is on FS1. We are up and running. I got a Hardcore Championship DVD yesterday. I was wondering, who was your favourite Hardcore Champion? I was never a massive fan of the Hardcore Championship. I thought the belt was cool. That was probably my favourite part of it. The concept of it I enjoyed, but I didn't enjoy the 30-second title reigns and the multiple different champions. And I suppose it would make sense, wouldn't it, that would happen. But I can't say I ever massively enjoyed it. But wasn't Mick Foley the first hardcore champion? I'm sure the belt was created and given to him. And I don't know if he was my favourite, but he is someone that embodies hardcore. And I think if it had stayed that way, if it had been contested in hardcore matches, that would have been cool. That would have been really cool. do you imagine? I mean, like, I'm not even a hardcore fan, but I understand there are fans of it out there. As long as it's not stupid and silly, and you know, it's like a brawl and there's blood and all of that kind of stuff. I think the hardcore championship could have been something awesome. Giving it to Mick Foley makes a lot of sense, but these 30 seconds, right? I mean, like, just doesn't work. It's the same with the 24/7 belt. There's not too many people in the world that are loving that. I saw a few people actually talking about Raw's ratings, and I think it was WrestleLamia sent a tweet out, and I was reading his points about what he would do to improve the ratings, and literally one of the points was get rid of the 24/7 belt. No one wants it. No one wants those segments. R-Truth's funny, but R-Truth can be funny in lots of different segments, lots of different ways. You don't need. And honestly, whenever you see R-Truth and then you get Tozawa and Lucha House Party running down to the ring to try and pin him, no one cares. Who cares? It sucks. It does suck. So I'll go with Mick Foley because I think if they'd have gone that way, I think it would have been better. Don't get me wrong, there was some good hardcore stuff. I remember the WrestleMania 17 match being excellent, for example. But yeah, by and large, those multiple ones. Wasn't there one? Was it WrestleMania 18 or 19? It was just a mess. Anyway, we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on Kevin Owens, who is making his way down to the ring. We've got ladders all around the ringside area. Of course, TLC is this weekend. We will be streaming it. Whatever is going to happen, we are going to be covering it on the channel. So this Sunday, Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens. Okay, Kevin Owens says, get out here. He's calling out Roman. Right, I mean, Roman operates on his own time, doesn't he? So, SmackDown is on FS1. It is on FS1. Days, what are your top 5 matches? We'll probably do that next week. I do want to do a stream for the Slammies, so I think we'll talk about matches and highlights and lowlights and overachievers and underachievers and all of that kind of stuff. I think we'll cover it on that stream, so I think we'll do a Slammy stream next week, which I think will be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. I think it's on Wednesday, Slammies. And don't forget, we got the Sammies tonight. We're not the Slammies, the Sammies. We got the Sammy Award, Sami Zayn. It's going to be bringing us an award ceremony. We've also got Carmella's Champagne Toast. We got Street Profits against Ziggler and Rude. We got Bayley taking on Bianca Belair. Looking forward to that. Bayley against Belair. Excellent. And The Rock on Talking Smack. Which I can't watch Talking Smack because we don't have it here in the UK. Sucks. It's just a standard promo so far from Kevin Owens. Your kids know that you're a hypocrite, is what he's saying to Roman. Days, The Undertaker was the best hardcore champ because he was the only one taken seriously. That's a really good point, Brother Nero. It's a good point. Brian says the Slammies are on the WWE Network. Yes, which is good. Because if it was on Fox or something, it might be a nightmare for me to find it. But because it's on the network, should be able to find it. Well, it should just be there for me. Just like a pay-per-view, really. I don't think it's on for long. I think it's only on for an hour. And it's on a really weird time. 10 a.m., I think. So, yeah. Paul Heyman says, Kevin, stop already. He says, I'm here to confess my sins, not to speak about you. Days Talking Smack is on the network tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit late, isn't it? If The Rock comes out and does something epic tonight, I don't want to have to wait till tomorrow to find out. Roman crossed the line when he brought Kevin Owens' family last week. He did talk straight to them, didn't he? It was really cool. There were some nice moments on SmackDown last week. I don't think it was a great show overall, if my memory serves me right, but I thought there was some nice moments. Paul Heyman, doing Paul Heyman stuff, perfectly fine. He's on the Titantron talking to Kevin Owens, who's in the ring. Kevin Owens wanted Roman, but Roman operates on Roman time. Paul Heyman says you've got to be taken out and eradicated, but Kevin Owens isn't interested in listening. I can't listen to one more word. Kevin Owens says if Roman won't come find me, I will find Roman. So Roman is in his locker room and Kevin Owens is making his way to the backstage area as we go to our first of what is sure to be many commercial breaks. Drew303 says WWE is so boring. It's nice getting ICW on the network, though. Those lads know how to put on a show. Chris says, I want to see The Rock and Paul Heyman interact. Well, you're sure to get something, be it a comment or something. I don't know why The Rock's there. I don't know if he's got a new film that he's trying to promote or if he just wants to wish people a happy Christmas. I don't know. Or is he going to speak on the Roman subject? Genuinely, I don't know what he's going to say. So I'm very, very intrigued. I think we all are very intrigued to see what Roman has got to say. And I'm sure he'll say something that will create a buzz of some kind. But ultimately, I just don't see it leading anywhere for a while. I'm not expecting him to announce that he's going to be in the Rumble. Although, could you imagine if he did? Could you imagine if his message tonight is, I'm going to use tonight to announce that I am officially entering the 2021 Royal Rumble? Oh my freaking gosh. Imagine that if he said that. Imagine if he says that. That would probably be the best thing he could say. I can't imagine much else better other than I've bought WWE. Harley says, at WrestleMania, Bryan versus Roman and Cena McIntyre. Yeah, I think you've called it. I'd love that match. Cena McIntyre would be awesome. When Cena breaks Flair's record and his last run with the title. I love that. I love that. Cena trying to break the record and McIntyre trying to prove that he's now the guy. That makes so much sense, Cena versus Drew. It's got star power. It's got reasons. Cena trying to break that. There'll be a lot of people saying, no, that should go to someone that's, not a part-timer. Which is funny, because that's the exact kind of thing Cena used to say. Cena used to be the one that used to lay into The Rock for just turning up, for the big shows. And now he'd be the one that's doing that exact same thing. But I think it makes so much sense. I'd love that. Cena McIntyre. Sign me up. Kevin's promos are always decent, says Beers. Peers, cheers. SmackDown is on FS1. Yes, it is. SmackDown is on FS1. I think it's only for this week, though, isn't it? For 1 week only, it's on FS1. But if you're in the UK, it's BT Sport as normal. Where is SmackDown? FS1, as we said. Football is in the way, yes. Cameron asks, what's your predictions for the men's and women's Royal Rumble winners? I think Edge. I think that's been long rumoured. Edge will win the men's. Women's could be someone like Becky. Becky could come back and take the women's. If not, I would love to see someone like Bianca Belair. I think that would be really cool. Adam Pearce is trying to stop Kevin and not succeeded. Kevin tries to open Roman's locker room door. Music hits, and is Roman making his way to the ring? Yeah, he is. There's Roman. Roman making his way to the ring with Paul Heyman whilst Kevin Owens is backstage. I mean, he does. He looks $1 million, doesn't he, Roman? Kevin Owens shaking his head. Roman Reigns bringing them sweet casual fans over to SmackDown. You do think that if Roman was on Raw, Raw would get a better rating. Is it unfair to say, and some people are going to say it is, but is it unfair to say that he is their only big star right now? He might legit be, because when you want to talk big stars, you got to talk ratings. Is he their only big star right now? Roman Reigns. Glasgow Geek 1985. Shout out to you, dude. I'll let the voiceover woman read it out. Days, I just noticed that Dominic doesn't really wrestle that much. Do you know why? Is he injured? Not injured as far as I know. I just don't think they've got anything really.
Glasgow Geek 1985 is a legend. They donated £10 via a super chat. Bro truthful, I don't think either Bray or Randy will be burnt in the Inferno match. I think it will be Alexa. Randy said he knows the Fiend's weakness and she will start
wearing a mask. Interesting. Well, because she gets burnt and she wants to hide the burns, so she starts wearing a mask. That could be fun. Right, here's Roman in the ring. Reigns promo. Seth and Bray are big stars, says Austin. Ratings would suggest otherwise. It's something you don't understand. This isn't your lane. Is Kevin Owens in the wrong lane? Does he think he's in England? I'm going to show you I'm a good guy, or babyface as we call it. I'm going to give you the opportunity I gave my own flesh and blood. Acknowledge me as your tribal chief. Oh, that's great. That's great. He wants everyone to acknowledge him as his... I'll say it. He's my tribal chief. You're my tribal chief. What you got to do is just call me your tribal chief. Does that mean can I sit at the table as well? Because it sounds like his table has got some sweet food. He's head of the table. I'm fine with that. I'm quite happy to sit at the middle. Do you know what I mean? I'll even go at the bottom if I have to, as long as I can still get to the food. He can have the big bit of chicken as well, because like he is bigger than me. He can even have the wishbone. Yeah, go on, Kevin. Jump out there and go tribal chief. Tribal chief. David Connolly, shout out to you. Wrestling Days fan says, I'm the tribal chief. Roman's in the ring. Here comes Kevin. Owens on his way. Jey Uso, man. Jey Uso. So they're beating up on Kevin. So Kevin's down. He's getting beaten up by Jay. He's getting beaten up by Roman. It was all a trap. Just like Home Alone. Someone going to come down? Could you imagine if Sammy came down? That would be cool, wouldn't it? Imagine if Sammy came down. Kevin and Sammy against Roman and Jay. I'd love that. See, I feel like Sammy would come down. Even though Sammy is a bit of a, is a heel now, I still think he's got that relationship with Kevin. We all know about that relationship. So why wouldn't Sammy come down? We got some officials that have come down instead. Fake boos being piped in. Kevin Owens getting battered and hurled into the barricade. Okay, so Roman and Jay walking away. Roman is the head of the table. I acknowledge him as my tribal chief. He can have the food. I'm happy with the scraps. Austin said, I forgot SmackDown was on FS1 tonight. Coming up tonight, we've got Street Profits against Ziggler and Rude. Everyone's confused as to what channel it's on. I don't know why. They did announce this on Raw. One night only, it was going to be on FS1. SmackDown on FS1 tonight. Only the best part of the show, says Zachary. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship match is next, says the Nico Guy 316. Texas New Fake says Roman is God. The clock has stopped. It does that sometimes when I don't, stay on it. Sammy needs to defend his title. I don't know when he's doing that. He's not defending it this weekend, is he? Is he defending it this weekend? I don't believe he is. He's doing his Sammy Awards tonight, so maybe something will come out of that. Maybe there'll be a last-minute IC match that gets added. Fake Ross Vape says it's all downhill from here. I'm in Australia. I'm watching it on Fox. Says XD Frenchy 400. Shout out to you. Zachary says, catch me up. There's not much to catch up. I mean, look, we've got to be on the same page here. This is a go-home show. And go-home shows traditionally are poor because everything's done. There's not really anything else left to do. So what we had was Kevin Owens cutting a promo. Then he went backstage to find Roman. Roman, like the cheeky monkey that he is, went down to the ring whilst Kevin was backstage. That must mean that they crossed at some point. So I don't know how they missed each other, but they did. Roman's in the ring. Kevin Owens came back down to the ring and then got attacked. That is what we've had so far. It's kind of like schoolyard stuff in a way, isn't it? So yeah, it is what it is. But I'm not expecting this to be like a great SmackDown. I think it'll be all right. I'm really looking forward to Bayley Bianca. There's a good chance that's going to have a screwy finish. And that, we end up getting another match at TLC or booking another one for next week. Or I can't see this having a clean finish and that's it. We move on. So Bayley against Bianca. I am looking forward to that. I'm looking forward, strangely, to the Sammy Awards. I think he does good promos, and that could be a fun segment. Carmella, Champagne Toast. I'm into it after last week. Street Profits against Ziggler and Rude, I'm not into. But, yeah. Could be all right. As go-home shows go, could be all right. Days, if you told Roman that he is your tribal chief, He would probably say no, Dum Dum. I don't want you to say it. Sorry, Tribal Chief. Oh, Roman. Sir, I don't know. What am I meant to call you? Mr. Reigns. Days, your audio is lower today. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happened. I've got everything turned up to the max. We are maxed. So that's why I'm having to sit so close. I'm having to sit like really super close just to try and get any kind of volume out of it. So I'm talking up and doing what I can. People were saying before that, do you remember before the mic was kind of cutting out a little bit? There was one of the streams we did about a week ago where the sound kept kind of coming in and cutting out. That suggested then that there was a few mic problems. And now we're getting to the point where even though all the volume's up max, I've now got very low volume. So I've already got another microphone ready. So we're not going to be struggling for future. I'll have to have a look at the settings after. But yeah, I think it might be this mic, which has, as we said, worked very hard this year. Very, very hard this year. They're just showing us the beatdown from a few moments ago. Imagine if Ronda is Asuka's mystery partner. I'd love that, Brony. Corey Graves says Kevin got what was coming to him. No. Roman says he doesn't understand. I know this guy. He's not going to listen, and he's not going to stop. End him? Finish him. Roman saying to Jay, end him. So Roman sends Jay. I mean, Jay can't do anything.
David Paul is a legend.
David Paul.
They donated $5 via a super chat. You can watch SmackDown if you download Hulu. Hulu has a free week of its Hulu with live TV option. Cancel the fees before Christmas, though.
There we go. Little tip from David there for people struggling to watch SmackDown this week. Shout out to you, David. Appreciate the information. Right, we've got the Street Profits on the way. Bum, bum, bum. Ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Maybe Retribution is coming for my YouTube channel. Wow, they need something to do. Street Profits against Rude and Ziggler. He doesn't like your content. I don't blame him. Oh. I've now just lost my text that I wrote. Where's that gone? It's gone behind the tree. It's gone behind the freaking tree. I've lost it behind the tree. Oh, does that mean I've got to move the tree? Well, I'm moving something else now. I don't even know what I'm moving. Oh, this has gone completely wrong. Where is that? Is that little thing the text? How small did I make that? Flip, it's upside down. It's Russian. Oh my God, we've got a Russian match. Look at this. Taking our private streets. There we go. So we've got a Russian match. I will bring the tree back in. I think it brings a wonderful festive vibe. But yeah, for anyone watching, check out this Russian match that we've got now. Only Lana can read that. It might be Rude. I don't know. Well, it is. It's Bobby Roode. It's Bobby Roode and Ziggler. Oh, who the hell is this guy? Who's Clark Duke? What is the... Look at this. Oh, we've got Russian down below. We've got a French dude on screen. Hello, Madeline. I love to see you wearing that negligee. Who is this dude? I don't know who this is. Come on, I just saw him say, "What? I want the smoke." Oh, Dali! Welcome to Paris. I mean, a lot of people might look at that moustache and go, doesn't work for him. But in Paris, he would be so popular. He honestly be fighting them off with a stick, he would. Right, we're underway. This stream has gone Russian now. Yeah, well, if someone is hacking my stream, if someone is messing around with the audio, you've got to look to the Russians, haven't you? Honestly, I think you have to. I think you have to. I don't think I'm alone in that. So I think if I can win the Russians over, then I think there's a good chance I might get my microphone back. So I just want to say to the Russians, I am your No, hang on. You are the tribal chief. I'm not your tribal chief. I don't want to say, oh no, I've ruined it. I don't want to say to the Russians that I'm your tribal chief. Don't poison me. Don't poison me, Russians. Ah, they're going to overchop me. Don't poison me. Yeah, I'm honestly, I didn't mean it. Oh, I'm gonna get poisoned for Christmas. Sorry, Russians. I mean, I've written it down in Russian, like the flipping thing for you. Oh. Well, that sucks, doesn't it? I guess we're Russians now. Yeah, I'm Russian now. I'm Russian. So if they do poison me, they're poisoning one of their own. Which they would totally do, so that doesn't work either. Oh, flip. I'm Russian, says Danny Barnhouse. Everyone is wearing blue. Is this now Blue's Clues? Maybe. It honestly, might make for a more interesting show. It's been all right so far, in all fairness. It's been all right. I'm not laying into it. It's been all right. Give credit where it's due. I'm not into this match. Liam says, just looking at the chat's reaction to Roman is proof that you can really build up almost anyone. He was literally disliked by 85% of the fan base. Proper booking, and boom, he's a star. Daze, will you do a boxing match with Vladimir Putin? No, I've got nothing but respect for my leader, my grand leader, the higher power. Well, I don't know what he's called. Horseman, Mr. Horsey Man. He rides around with that shirt on a horse, doesn't he? I mean, probably not all the time, but I've definitely seen pictures. And if he's watching, you look buff. Yeah? You look buffsky. You look really buffsky. You look like mansky. Buffsky. Yeah? You look very sexy. You look very sexy. God, I don't know about you, but I think Putin is very sexy. Very sexy indeed. I don't know if I'm making things better or worse, to be honest. I ain't got a clue. I don't know if I'm getting closer or further away from being poisoned. I think we're all going to find out very, very soon. Could you imagine that? Tomorrow, trending on Twitter. Beloved wrestling YouTuber. Wrestling Days. Poisoned by Novichok in the UK because he said Vladimir Putin was sexy. In fairness, if I'm going to go, that's the way I'd probably... Well, I don't know if I'd want to go that way. But it's a good story, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You're going to be remembered for a while, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? I'd rather that than flipping... fell over. Knock myself silly. Do you know what I mean? I'd much rather go that way. Did you hear about Wrestling Days? The Russians got him. Did they? Yeah. Wild. The Rock is on tonight. They should have him saying how he doesn't like what Reigns has been doing. Then Roman comes and puts him through a glass table. Injures him, and then he shows at the Rumble. That could be fun. Well, I mean, that would be more than fun, but... yeah, will they do that? Will they go that far? The thing is, there tends to, when they do these moments, there tends to be a lot of potential, but that potential isn't always realized. So, don't know. Dylan says, Days Retribution is going to come to shut your channel down. Clock has stopped. Yeah, it does whenever I'm not on it. We will shut you down, says that. Yeah, that's the spirit, David. That's the spirit. You should be upset. It shouldn't be the Russians that get to shut this channel down. It should be you guys, the loyal supporters. If anyone's shutting it down, it should be you lot, not the flipping Russians. Right, we are underway with this. I think it's for the championships. I'm not sure. I would imagine it is. Let's say it is. Let's say it is. Mr. Rotella says, hashtag justice for Days. Thank you, sir. Thank you. The text is backwards and upside down. Yes, it's Russian. We've covered this. What WWE should do is consistently good stories. Febin, I agree. That's a really good point. I definitely agree with that. They should do consistently good stories. Not like one good story and then everything else trash. Or a constant stream of trash stories. They should try and do consistently good stories. They should try and put on consistently good shows, shouldn't they? That would help ratings. A lot of people are like, how would you improve ratings? And my answer is, I think they should put on really good shows. That's it. That's the secret. That's the secret sauce. Really gripping, entertaining, cliffhangers. What's going to happen next? I am so into this. I'm going to sell the children just so I've got enough money to stay at home and watch non-stop wrestling because it's that good. But we're a long way away from that. The children are safe for now. For now. Kick out by Montez Ford. What WWE should do is yes, they should, Febin. We've covered this. Both the Roman and Drew match at TLC is also a ladder match. Wrestling Days exposed, says David Connolly. To improve ratings, I think they should merge Raw and SmackDown together to give us Raw Down, Smack Raw, Monday Night Down. I mean, that's what it is anyway. Monday Night Down. That's how I feel. Monday Night Down. You feeling good? No, I'm feeling Monday Night Down. Monday Night Down. Smack Raw. I do like Smack Raw. Raw Down. Kicks coming in by Rude and Ziggler. Can we just give some quick... I'm going to give some real quick praise to Rude and Ziggler. They've got the same coloured attire on. And that is a detail that I do appreciate. It does suggest that they're on the same page. It does suggest that there's been a bit of thought that's gone into them as a team. So, just a little thing. Just a little thing, but I appreciate it. I feel like I'm watching two tag teams. I do wish that Ziggler and Rude had a tag team name. I think we have covered this before, and like the Glorious Show-Offs was a favourite. That would be fine. Street Profits versus the Glorious Show-Offs. I can vibe with that. Rude Dolph, the red-nosed reindeer. They could definitely be called that for Christmas. Rude Dolph. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. Had some very turquoise pants. Is it turquoise? I'm not sure. Kind of like baby blue in it. In comes Rude. I like Minnie and the Brown. I also like Chelsea. I like Minnie and the Brown. What's Minnie and the Brown? It sounds like some kind of crazy indie band. Hey, we're Minnie and the Brown, and this is our new album, Raw Down. If Raw was 2 hours, it would be better. That's true. Since it's 3, a lot of the stuff on is just filler and throwaway segments. I agree. This week in particular, there was a lot of matches that just didn't matter. They just don't matter. Doesn't matter if you watch them or not. I think matches need to matter. Even if it's just a case of some new person trying to establish themselves, you can still tell a story there. But yeah, there's a lot of matches. Just who cares? Who cares who wins? I kind of feel this way right now about these two teams. I don't care who wins. If Street Profits win, that's really pleased for them. If Rude and Ziggler win, then that's great. Well done. The fact you're wearing the same coloured ring attire has paid off. Technically, Rude and Ziggler have been a team since last year, even though Rude was in Canada most of the time. Dawkins picks up Rude. Rude looking for a glorious DDT. Gets driven back into the corner. Kicks out at Dawkins and Ziggler coming in. Over the top. Nice leg drop by Ziggler. 1, 2. Kick out by Angela Dawkins. Brother Nero says, Days, the tribal chief Roman is indefinitely better than Big Dog Roman. New Roman is so intimidating. If he looked me in the eye, I would shatter into 1,000 shards of glass. That's dramatic, Brother Nero. That's very dramatic. Spinebuster by Dawkins. Tags in Montez Ford, who's going to do his big splash thing that hurts him. Big frog splash connects. I hate that move. I hate that move. And it hasn't even worked for him. Elbow drop. Big frog splash. He always does that after. Even if he was to connect it perfectly, he would still roll around in pain after. That's what he does. Montez Ford grabbed a handful of Rude's tights, and Street Profits have retained. Rude is obviously going to complain, but he had a handful of tights moments before, so what goes around comes around. Is Jey Uso wrestling? He is going Owens hunting. So he is going to be looking for Kevin Owens. Wrestling Days is the Russian hacker. I'm trying to please the Russian hackers. They're saying to the ref that he cheated. They're having a right go. I'm just doing my job. Both of you will be suspended. I don't think the ref's got the ability to do that. Unless he's saying if you do touch me or you do intimidate me, it's in the rules that you'll be suspended. A bit weird, isn't it? Them getting in his face and him like having a... In a way, I sort of like it. I sort of like the fact that they're empowering the referee. I sort of like that. I mean, he can't suspend them, but the rules are if you touch the ref that you would be. So he's not wrong. I wonder if they've done that to show you that they're trying to empower the referees a bit more. Oh, I hope so. Referees always come across as just clueless idiots. Constantly looking in the wrong direction. Jessica Carr is trying to... Oh, my God. I thought Jey had just smashed Jessica Carr then with that chair. But he wallops Kevin instead. So he's a chair shot to the back of Kevin Owens. Is Owens going to make it to Sunday? Jey, that's not enough, mate. Roman definitely wants more damage inflicted. That's not enough. He's just hit him with the chair a couple of times. If I was Roman, I'd be like, I'm sorry, do I talk in riddles? I told you to deal with it and you hit him with the chair twice. I wonder if Owens is going to make it to the pay-per-view. Big boy Dally, shout out to you, sir. Hello, Days. It's been a rough couple of days. I'm glad to join and take my mind off things. Shout out to you, sir. I'm sorry to hear that it's been a rough couple of days. Hope everything is okay. So, yeah, sit back. Take your mind off things. Basti says the mic is fixed. Is it? Why would that happen now? Still clipping where it was before, so I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know that it is. We're about 40-odd minutes into the show, and it's been all right. I wasn't really into the tag match. But, it's all right. Street Profits have got some fans out there. Has Rude and Ziggler got any fans out there anymore? Honestly, I don't know. Legitimately, I don't know. I mean, they certainly don't do it for me. I think Ziggler on his own, if he was a face, could be something. I always enjoyed his work when he was a face in the past. So, yeah, I'm just not really into them as a team. Rude has never done it for me in WWE. Even when he was champion down in NXT, I just wasn't feeling it. Depending on tonight, TLC should be dope, says Magic Banana 409. Gabrielle says, I can't lie, one of these wrestlers, literally my biggest crush. It's bigger than the whole world. You've got a massive crush on one of the wrestlers. Is it Michael Cole? He used to wrestle, didn't he? He wrestled at WrestleMania. I bet it's Michael Cole. I'm saying Michael Cole. I bet when you saw him in that orange singlet, you were like, here we go. Here we go. Dream Man territory. Woo! He is looking sexy. Got a little advert for WWE Shop, advertising the various championships that are available. You can feel like a champion. Even if you're not a real champion, you can feel like one by buying our belts. Buy our belts tonight. Up to 50% off t-shirts. We got Kayla Braxton. Oh, when she said EST, she gave a little bit of a one of them. Bianca backstage with Kayla. Are you going to really sit here and talk about role models and Bailey in the same sentence? Ever since I came to SmackDown, I've wanted to face Bailey. She is my measuring stick. The thing about Bailey is she's always got something to say. The EST is going to SHINE, which is shine. She's going to shine. We do have the Riot Squad. Billy Kay is going to... Oh, I love Billy Kay. So on board. Why aren't they doing her with Adam Pearce? Right, let's move away from the Russian. Okay. Who is Billy's partner? Billy Kay. Has she got her resume? That's what I want. No, it's on her back. She's got it on her back. She is a seasoned ring announcer. Second generation superstar. It is Tamina. Tamina is Billy's partner. Oh, I should imagine the Riot Squad don't care. I should imagine the Riot Squad are relieved. She's coming down. I want them to sell them flipping resumes. I want one. I want one of them resumes. Why are they not selling them? Look, she's trying to get Tamina over to the corner. Right, the bell has sounded and we are underway. Billie Kay and Tamina against the Riot Squad. I can't watch tonight because it's on stupid FS1, says Dustin Walker. It's go home, honestly. If you was going to miss a show, I wouldn't be too upset about missing this one. We haven't really had anything. We've had Kevin Owens getting beaten up and Street Profits retaining, and now we've got Billie Kay and Tamina against the Riot Squad. I like the Riot Squad's look. Ruby goes down. Billy is liking this. Applauding from the outside. We're about 10 minutes or so away from the halftime scores as well. So we are sneaking our way towards the halftime scores. Strike to the midsection by Ruby. Headbutt by Tamina. Ruby goes down. Billy does not need Natalya. She can wrestle all by herself. She doesn't need to be in a tag team, says Bryce. Yeah, I would be all right watching it. As long as I think she's fine in the ring, but her real positive is her personality. She should have a talk show. Billie Kay should have her own talk show. Her own talk show segment. I tagged. Billy's like, I tagged. Get out the ring. I tagged. Here we go. 1, 2. Liv makes the save. You gotta be joking me. Having a word with the referee. Trash talking all the time, Billy. Billy goes down. In comes Liv. Goes over to the corner. Riot Squad knock Tamina off the edge of the ring. Missile drop kick to Billie Kay. Billie Kay down. 2, 3, and loses again. I can see this be a running thing. Like, they'll keep bringing out a different partner for her. The hard luck continues. Billie Kay selling on the outside. I wonder if she is going to find, like, a permanent partner. I wonder if she's going to find someone that it's going to work. They'll get that win, and then they'll keep them as a team. We've got Carmella backstage next. So Carmella's champagne toast coming up next. I think a part of that story that Jay didn't do much to Kevin was because Jay doesn't want to do this because of Roman. Maybe Jay feels a bit bad. That's interesting. Saying there's a bit of psychology going on there. David Otunga has got the best theme song ever, says 20 Twan. Days, I think the story is that Billy will keep getting partners to face the Riot Squad and try to beat them. The final partner will probably be a return, says Eric. That finisher was rubbish, says Mark Clark. Yeah, it's all right. Love the Riot Squad, says Mary. Gabrielle says, who wants to know who the big crush is? Dude, we sorted it. It's Michael Cole. You saw him in that orange singlet. And you was like, sign me up. They should have kept Billy and Peyton as a team. I agree. Heather says, if Vince had half a brain, he'd put the Iconics back together. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. Andres Hunter says, I can see Billy putting a mask on Peyton and changing her name to Royce Peyton. Poise Rayton. Poise Rayton. Rayton Poise. Could you imagine that? Billy Kay and Rayton Poise. The Iconics should be tag champs, says David Connolly. Austin says Days and Triple T are my big crushes. I'm still hoping for Billy and Bailey eventually, says Brother Nero. Gabrielle says no, but I do think Jay is kind of cool. Oh, I don't know J. Cole. Oh, no, I do. I know J. Cole, the hip-hop guy. That's who you're into. You're into J. Cole. It's a good pick. I think a lot of people are. I don't think you're alone. Who do you think Asuka's panther is? Who do I think Asuka's panther is? I didn't even know she had a panther. Has Asuka got a panther? That's one wild YouTube video that I need to check out. Normally she's just buying like cameras and different things for cameras. I didn't know she'd gone out and bought a panther. Perhaps it's a new Netflix thing. Panther King, starring Asuka. Well, I don't know. I can't answer that. I can't answer that. Gabrielle says no, Jay Uso. Oh, okay. That makes, in fairness, that does make more. That does make more sense. Chalmers says, why did you take the Wrestling Days star off the tree? Fun fact, I don't think it was ever there on the SmackDown one. I don't think I ever added it last week either. It's on all the other streams, but each stream has got its own different setup. And this is the same SmackDown setup that we use every week. And I just don't think I got around to putting the little Wrestling Days star on top. So, yeah, there we go. You could have a look last week. It actually might be that you didn't notice it wasn't there last week. Or it could just be a technical problem again. That's probably more likely. Right, we've got champagne in the ring. Champagne toast. This might be okay. This might be okay. It could be awful. Could be flipping awful, but it might be okay. Why are they allowing so much alcohol around the ringside area? I don't understand. Good stories, please. Angles that we want to see used in stars. Please the fans. Shocking moments. All that will increase ratings, says Fabian. Carmella is the reigns without a title of the women's division. Do you think so, Damien? Do you think so? Do you think so? I mean, like, when Roman comes out, the way he looks, the way he carries himself, you do think he's like $1 million. He's like $1 billion. He's like a future movie star. He's just a massive deal. You can see him on the talk shows. I don't know that I feel that way about Carmella. Could I see her like main event in WrestleMania? I can't. But I don't know. Maybe this. Who knows? This thing might take off. What's up with the heels saying it's their title when they're not even champions, says Eric. Right, we've got Carmella's new entrance where she's kind of like dancing behind some fencing. Then a white sheet appears. Then she does some belly dancing. And you can see her silhouette, and then the sheet falls down. And then there she is. It's not my favorite entrance. She looks great, though. She does look stunning. So, Carmella making her way down to the ring. She's in like a little black dress. And clearly not in wrestling attire. She's got heels on as well. We could get Sasha. I would expect Sasha. But, yeah, Carmella looking good. I think they are investing a lot in her, in all fairness. I think they are trying to make her a big star. Okay, Carmella in the ring. She looks hot, says Liam. Well, she's got a microphone. Let's see what she's got to say. Okay, well, that's ruined. 'Tis the season to drink bubbly. Has she got an alcohol problem? Why is she doing this in the ring? She said, I've had my sommelier sort out a tasting for me. Some of you might be thinking it's a bit early to be celebrating. Not really. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. If you want to have a drink, have a drink. Grown woman. Apparently this champagne has got more digits in it than your phone number. I'm better than you. I know better than you. Mentally, where it counts, she's weak. This is the longest that Sasha has ever held onto a championship. She's drowning. Sasha is a better heel. I like Sasha as a heel. Carmella is untouchable, says Anthony. So apparently Sasha is drowning in the pressures. I don't like this promo. I think rather than saying that Sasha is a rubbish champion or this, I'd much rather that she was talking about how she would be a better champion. I think rather than saying Sasha's drowning and all this stuff that you just know is nonsense. You know, I mean, clearly Sasha's not drowning in the pressures of being champion, all this kind of stuff. Rather than just listening to that, I'd much rather listen to what she's going to do if she was champion. I'd much rather listen to how she would lead the women's division, how she'd bring some class, how she would change things. Could you imagine if she turned around and said, there's a few women in the division we need to get rid of? There's a few women in the division that are not to standard. They don't meet the standards, and that's what I will bring. So when I become champion, there's going to be a few women that will leave SmackDown, because as champion, I will have a very good relationship with the officials who already take an interest in what I've been saying backstage. Imagine how interested they'll be when I'm the leader of the women's division. I would find that to be a more compelling promo than just saying Sasha's drowning in the pressures when she isn't. Who is Sasha Banks if she's not the best? That's a question that not even Sasha knows the answer to. It's all right. It's cool. I'm into that. That's why Sasha is so desperate. This champagne thing is annoying. Cheap and frantic. Kind of like Sasha Banks. She had to know this was going to happen. The sommelier goes to the entranceway. Sasha's not on the entranceway. Carmella has spotted Sasha coming from the commentary table. Sasha is inside the ring. Sasha takes down Carmella. Starts unloading on Carmella. Bank statement. Bank statement by Sasha. The sommelier comes in. He pulls Sasha. Slap. Slap to the sommelier. Another bottle to the back. Sasha Banks goes down. Carmella's hair's all a bit messed up. I feel like it was okay. It was okay. There wasn't really anything there that I, hated. But I do think that it can be done a bit better. I wonder how big they expect Carmella to be. I think we all feel that given a few months, they'll give up on her and she'll become the next Lacey Evans. Do you know what I mean? Where she's got a gimmick, but they're not really pushing it. And she's not on TV that much. And she makes the odd appearance. I kind of feel like that's where Carmella is heading. But I wonder if right now they think she could be bigger than that. Fate Ross Fate. Carmella needs a pole for this gimmick. They might struggle to get that through past the Fox executives. Jey Uso is back. So if he was holding back, he's had a change of mind. Plants Kevin Owens through the table.
Vape Ross Vape is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. Carmella needs a poll for this gimmick.
Nico Guy says Jay is still beating up Kevin. Lol. Vape Ross Vape, shout out to you. Right, we are at commercial break. Get your halftime scores in. Get your halftime scores in. What are you thinking? What are you feeling about SmackDown so far tonight? Don't forget, we have got UFC coming up tomorrow. It is the last UFC of 2020. It's the end of the road. I don't think there's any UFC throughout January. So January is going to be a bit sad as well. So it's the last UFC for about a month. So if you did want to join us for UFC, it's your last opportunity tomorrow. It's a great card. Ranked fighters all over the place. Big matches that have been cancelled in previous weeks added to what was already a very strong card. So tomorrow looks awesome. Sunday, TLC. Whatever's going to go down, we're going to watch it and hopefully enjoy it. Hopefully it'll be a good show. Then on Monday, we've got Raw. On Tuesday, we've got a very special Wrestling Escape Pod. Huge Wrestling Escape Pod. Really looking forward to it. Christmas special Wrestling Escape Pod. On Wednesday, we've obviously got AEW. On Thursday, and also Slammies. On Thursday, we've got a special members only watch along. And on Christmas Day, we are doing SmackDown. That means there's nothing on Boxing Day. Maybe Boxing Day. Do you know what? Maybe Boxing Day is the day that I will sit down with lots of cheese, plenty of beer, and I might do that Star Wars Day that I was talking about earlier. Maybe I'll do that on Boxing Day. I don't know. Brian Coleman says 7 out of 10. Brony says 7. Piers, Beers, Cheers says 7. Sonny Wolf with a 7. Brendan with an 8.5. 6.25 from John. 7 from Wrestling Days fan. 5.5 from John. Troy with a 7.5. Basti with a 7. Harley 7.25. We've got Chalmers with a 6. Papa and his colleague lost by corruption by the ref. What? Papa. The mother says 4. Cole Irwin with a 6. Gaming with Marine Gaming says 10 out of 10. Awesome. 1987 Big Fan says 5. Jim Gore says Jey Uso is so pathetic for doing Roman's bidding. James Chadwick says UFC is on early. That is true, actually. UFC tomorrow, according to Google, starts at 9 UK time, which is 4 Eastern. Okay? So 4 Eastern, 9 UK time. But there's a real good chance that we start before. A real good chance. They're talking about the Firefly Funhouse Inferno thing. But
Eric Defcon Prime Dirigi is a legend. They donated $5 via a super chat. .rze. ID buy that for $1. Holla.
Shout out to you, Eric Defcom Prime Dirigi. Shout out to you, sir. Appreciate the support. Right, we've got Otis and Gable. Do you remember when Otis had the Money in the Bank? Do you remember when Otis won Money in the Bank and we all thought he was going to be world champion, and now he's in a tag team with Gable? And they're losing. It's been a wild ride for Otis, hasn't it? He was in a tag team. Then he had that big storyline with Mandy. Then he won Money in the Bank. Then his tag team broke up. Then he lost Money in the Bank. Now he's back in a new tag team. And all in the space of like a year. Daze, do you believe the story of the former Israeli scientist released about the Galactic Federation that exists and America and Israel are partners? Haven't really seen too much about it. I did see that there was some... Was it? I didn't even know they were Israeli, to be honest. Someone came out and said that there was aliens that was used to work for a government. I mean, my personal belief is that there are aliens. I do believe in aliens because I think the universe is so big. There's so many suns. There's so many planets that could inhabit life that I do think there is other life out there. So I am a believer in that. I don't know how advanced that life is. I'm not saying that there's people like us running around in the universe. I honestly don't know, but I would think probability would suggest that there would be life out there, just because of how big the universe is. But have we found it? Has it found us? I'd say no. I'd say no. I'd be leaning towards no. But I do believe in aliens. I do believe they're out there. Right, Nakamura and Cesaro. Billy K, 3 out of 10 says Kenny. Billy K was the highlight. Oh, is it just one-on-one? It's just, I didn't realise. So it's Otis against Nakamura. There we go. Otis against Nakamura. We've got 48 minutes left of the show. Show's been a go home. We are aliens once we went to the moon, says John. That's deep, John. That is deep. Knee strike by Nakamura. Brother Nero says, there's the perfect story to get rid of the brand split. Roman's ego gets so huge that he deems there can only be one champion. Roman beats Drew and resurrects the O2 Undisputed title of it. I would love one champion. I think that match makes a lot of sense. I love what you're saying. He's talking about being the tribal chief. Why would he want to share the honor of, you know, he talks about being head of the table, but there's another world champion out there. Yeah, I agree. Otis in control against Nakamura. Otis against the ropes. Nice discus lariat. I feel like if this was a New Japan match, they would book it to be really competitive and to be a really great match. Whereas in WWE, I'm expecting this to be awful and very short. But in New Japan, I really feel like this would be given time and... Gable says, don't do the caterpillar. Go for a suplex. So, Otis going for the suplex. 1, 2. Almost getting pinned there. Nice. So, Nakamura down. Otis going up. Big splash by Otis. 1, 2, 3. There we go. It was rubbish. It was short. So Otis wins, even though Gable is officially the worst trainer in the world. The Alpha Academy pays dividends. Yes, as long as you don't listen to it. Here's Sammy getting ready for his Sammy Awards. There's Sammy action figures. Gold Sammy Mattel figures. So he's got Sammy Awards. They're gold action figures on black cans by the looks of it. Here's Big E. Big E, I think, is going to have a bit of fun, is he, with the awards? Big E having a good little giggle. Big E having a good little giggle. Sami Zayn Elite figures. Sammy has cleaned up. Days, I heard a rumor that Asuka's secret partner might be Ronda Rousey, says BBBY. BBB Yips. Yips. Salanti. What does the BBB stand for? We figured out the Ypsilanti thing. They showed this on the YouTube channel. This is them. WWE saying goodbye to 2020. And welcoming in 2021. That is definitely how I feel about 2020. I feel like 2020 is voiced by Braun Strowman. What is this? It is Drew McIntyre and Roman and Bayley beating up 2020. Sammy looked better without that suit. LSW says this clip is atrocious. I mean, in all fairness, I'd sooner watch 2020 versus 2021 than most of the matches they've got booked for TLC. If they add 2020 versus 2021 to TLC, might be the match I'm most looking forward to. Murphy's backstage interview with Aliyah has 1 million+ views. Now imagine how much this video would have got if it was just Murphy. This basically says what all WWE needs to do for their ratings. No, it's hot shotting though, isn't it? It's hot shotting. You're just hot shotting. You can't just look at YouTube ratings as it's an indicator, but you need people constantly coming back. You need people there's a lot of people talking about how trash that storyline is. So just because it's got like good ratings, there might be people just tuning in just to see what all the negative comments are all about. Is Murphy really going out with a 12-year-old? Let's check the YouTube video and have a look. So you can't just look at ratings on YouTube. You've got to look at all the different indicators. I think like merch sales, very important. YouTube ratings, definitely. Segment breakdown on TV as well. Google searches, I think you can use that as well. I think that WWE might do well to do a little bit of, kind of fan research as well to see what fans are enjoying. In fairness, they might do well to just listen to a few of the reviews that are out there. Do you know what I mean? A lot of those YouTube channels that do reviews are fans, people that have watched the product for a long time. And, a lot of the points they make are valid. Some of them not so much, but, it'd be good if WWE did listen. It does feel sometimes like they don't. But I really would err on the side of caution of just judging it by YouTube views. It gives you, I understand it's an indicator, but not in isolation. It's kind of like the eye for an eye thing. Do you know what I mean? If they put that clip up of the eye for an eye match, the moment where we actually saw, Rey Mysterio with his eye out, everyone laid into that. Everyone said that was rubbish. Everyone said, they shouldn't have done it. The stipulation was rubbish. The way they executed it, I thought was not as offensive as what I was expecting. Because the rumors were it was going to be CGI. But instead they used like a fake eye and they drew it on and he was holding it in place. That would get crazy views. That would get crazy views on YouTube. That doesn't mean it's a good idea. It doesn't mean that it was a good segment. That doesn't mean that people are heralding it as the right way forward. So you just got to be careful with that. Right, on Talking Smack, they're not showing The Rock. They are showing Bayley, Street Profits, Carmella, and Kevin Owens. But no advertisement for The Rock. Talking Smack live tonight, immediately following SmackDown. Backstage with Gable and Otis. Why didn't you do the caterpillar? So Gable says, why didn't you do the caterpillar? It was right there. And Otis said, you told me not to. Training resumes tomorrow, so... Okay. Right, we've got the Sammy Awards, the first annual Sammy Awards. This could be awful, but I love Sammy. I love Big E. I have high hopes that this is going to be all right. I have high hopes. First annual Sammy Awards. He's doing it on the entrance stage. He's got a little podium. He's sorted his hair out. He's combed it back. He's got a lovely suit on. Sammy says the Slammies of... Jack Tunney getting a mention. The Sammy Awards are about the will of the people. I'm loving that Jack Tunney mention. So, the year in review for the Sammy Awards. So, obviously, it is all looking at Sammy and what he was able to achieve. Handcuffing people to the ladders. And that was a surprise that he won that. I didn't expect him to win that Intercontinental match.
Vape Ross Vape is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. Days, who are you wearing for the Samis?
What? Who am I wearing? Oh, I didn't quite understand what you mean, but you mean from a fashion point of view. I always wear my own collection. I don't believe in promoting other designers when I've got such a wide portfolio myself. So I am wearing Days, my 2021 range. Okay. Comeback of the year. Edge was huge. It's got to be Edge in it. Sammy says, I think I'm in contention. I think it is meant to be Sammy, but Big E might have changed it. Here we go. Ah, he hasn't changed it. Comeback of the year is won by Sami Zayn. There you go. Sammy wins the first Sammy. He says, I don't want to make this all about me. Next Sammy. Match of the year. Everyone wants match of the year. I'm going AJ Daniel. I think Volta Dragunov deserves to be mentioned. I've got a feeling it's going to be the triple threat ladder match. Yeah, it is the triple threat ladder match. Wins match of the year. Sami Zayn's victory at Clash of Champions. That's the one he wanted to win. BBB, a nickname from friends back in high school. We all had triple letters. Yours would be Triple D. Oh. Okay. Superstar of the year. Big E. Is this the one he's changed? Big E. Superstar of the year, Big E. So Big E is here to collect his Sammy. Sammy's asking, who put this in here? Big E keeps pushing Sammy away. Sammy says it seems like there's been a mix-up. Oh, strike to the midsection by Big E. The superstar of the year, Big E. Taking it out on Sammy, sliding Sammy all the way down the entrance ramp. we go. Well done, Big E. Brother Nero says, boo, I voted for Sammy. I voted for Lars Sullivan. Right, we're backstage with Kayla. Bailey's here, ding dong. Still got a captain's armband on. Bailey said it was nice to hear someone say some nice words finally. That was the Sammy Award. Bailey said that she used to be on the cross-country team. Bailey said, if I was Bianca, I'd be a little more humble. Tonight, Bailey puts Bianca Belair on the map. Well, we're getting that match now. That is the match I was most looking forward to. Oh, I hope they don't skimp on it. It's a weird time to start a match. Suggests they might only get like 10 minutes. Because whatever the main event is, unless this is the main event, they're going to give it loads of time, which would be awesome and surprising. Bianca Belair versus Bailey is our next contest. I never needed you at all. Right, we're going to commercial break. Austin says, I don't really care for Bianca, to be honest. Big E got a new theme earlier in the month, says Houston. Kim says, it's fine for people to have an age gap in relationships, and some are bigger than this. Some people's parents have one, and it's not wrong for them to be together. They can do a storyline because it's fine. Tuck hasn't been on today, no. Bianca versus Bailey. Bianca wins, says Benson. Andres said, did anyone vote Lars for cinematic match? I've still not seen Lars' cinematic match, but I hear it is quite the scuffle. Maria says, are you going to see UFC tomorrow? Yes. And are you going to see TLC videos on Sunday? We're doing a stream. And for Christmas, I'm getting Sasha Banks. Awesome. UFC Connor toy. Amazing. And a Carmella toy. Please read it out. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I'd love to get some of the UFC ones. They've got a whole new load of figures coming next year, so I'm very excited for those. But yeah, I might treat myself to some UFC this Christmas. Might get myself a UFC beanie. Oh, I was looking at them, and so yeah, I probably will get another beanie. I've got two. I found this. I'd lost this one. I found it on the floor down here. I was like, oh, that's where it went. So I've got the grey beanie and the blue beanie. So for Christmas, I might get another beanie to go with my multivitamins. That's my Christmas. An extra beanie and some multivitamins. Good luck beating that. Good luck beating that with your PS5s. Can keep your PS5s. All a man needs is multivitamins and a beanie. That's all a man needs. That's all this man needs. UFC beanie. Sexy. Days Roman being in that 2020 clip made no sense. He should only do press conferences or interviews where he is the focus. And even then, he should appear as though He has better things to do. Yeah, I didn't mind it because he hasn't really got any say over that, has he? It's an old clip of him doing a Superman punch that WWE have used to wish people a Merry Christmas. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you asked him, he'd be like, no, I don't want to be in it. But WWE have included him all the same, so I get what you're saying. Slammy Awards next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern on the WWE Network, hosted by R-Truth. We will be streaming that. We will start an hour before, so 9 a.m. Eastern, which is, I don't know, some time here in the UK. Belair in gold. The EST. I do think she's going to be a big star, Bianca Belair. She is so athletic and she's very good in the ring. Right, Bayley has come out. Looks weird without a belt, Bayley. She had so many belts for so long that her coming out without a belt doesn't feel right. The pyro goes off and Bayley says, that's star power right there. There could be a real argument that Bayley is legit the superstar of the year. If you think about everything she's done this year and how they used her across multiple shows and how she was in the tag team with Sasha and how she carried that SmackDown Women's Championship, I think there is a real argument for her being superstar of the year. Actually, genuinely, I think she would get my vote. Tries to roll up Belair, but Belair flipping out of the way. Bayley stomping on the foot of Belair. Belair stomping on Bayley's foot. She pushes her against the ropes, working on the arm, goes outside the ring. Nice. Look at that. Bayley tying up Bianca in the ropes. That's a good point. If the USA Network want darker, edgier content, then maybe that's why they're pushing the supernatural horror with the theme, with the Fiend. Yeah, I think they want darker content, more violent content. I don't know if they want. I'm gonna bite my tongue. I'll allow you to finish that sentence. Right, Bayley is being rolled back into the ring. Bianca going for the cover, but only gets a 2. Into the corner goes Belair. She flips out the way, goes to the other side. Look at that. Lovely. Nice standing moonsault, flips over the top of Bayley, who goes into the corner. Bianca really showing off her agility, but getting caught, man. And Belair getting her arm smashed against that LED sign. I do like the fact that she was showing off her agility and she got caught. Showing that all these flips look impressive, but you've got to do it to enhance your fighting, not do it instead of fighting. I think that's the problem sometimes. The flips come in the way of the fighting. So Bianca doing a few too many flips there, getting caught by Bayley and slammed to the outside. As we go to our commercial break, we got 24 minutes left to go. 24 minutes left to go. The Sensible David. Shout out to you, sir. Sensible David. Do love that name. Looking forward to the early UFC card tomorrow. How do I get my picks over to you? Email them, sir. If you email them, wrestlingdays@gmail.com. gmail.com. If you go to the community tab, all the information would be over there, sir. So yeah, you can send them over as long as they arrive to me before the show starts. So shout out to you, Sensible David. BBBY Ypsilanti says Lars Sullivan's cinematic match was sizable match. Will she read that? I'm not sure she'll read that. Even our voiceover woman might be like, yeah, no. Shout out to you, BBYPSI. Days, what sort of dark, edgy adult stuff could WWE do for Raw? Maybe a little bit more in line with the Xia Li stuff that's happening in NXT. I saw the clip from NXT this week where, if you haven't seen, Xia Li lost the match, and then out of nowhere, someone came down and gave her an envelope, and she read it, and she looked petrified, and she kept saying, "You don't understand. I've got to win this next match. You don't understand," like to the interviewers. And then she had a next match and she lost that as well. And then like Boa, another Chinese star, he had a match and I think he lost also, and he ended up getting the same envelope. Cut a long story short, they're now being punished. They're being tortured. We're seeing all these vignettes where Xia Li has been forced to kick and beat up Boa. They've been waterboarded, and dark, man. It's really dark what they're doing to these two, but it's like this older Chinese people, like there's like this old Chinese guy, and I think there's like an old Chinese woman sitting on like this chair, and they keep telling them again, do it again. They're making her hit him again and again. And wasn't he like having to punch a bag until like his hand was bleeding, and he was getting like emotional, saying he wanted to stop and they weren't letting him stop, and all this real dark, psychological, Chinese honor. Really interesting stuff. People have been critical of it because they're like, why has it been filmed and why is it being shown? I mean, I am willing to actually just let that slide. I do understand there is an entertainment aspect, and I am willing to allow that because it's based in reality. You know, these are things that we know that happen around the world. I mean, the Chinese, you know, very famous, and the Japanese very famous for, like, you know, their honor and fighting for that honor. And yeah, it's really compelling stuff. It's really interesting stuff, and there's no denying that when these two return to action, I can't wait to see how they present them. I can't wait to see what they're wearing. I can't wait to see their entrances. And honestly, I can't see them losing after what they've gone through, after the torture that they've been through. It's really dark. It's really dark. If you get a chance to watch the clips, they're on the WWE YouTube channel right now. Really good vignettes. Really good vignettes. It's the kind of stuff that really gets you invested in a character. And, I mean, like, you totally understand. Why are they going to lose their matches now? They're just not, are they? They're just not. It's like their lives are on the line in many ways. They've been tortured. And they'll get tortured again. So, I don't know. I mean, like, just as an example, that's something that NXT's doing that I'm really interested in. I love characters having backstories. I think that's one of the biggest weaknesses with the main roster is you just got like a load of people, and who cares? Like, we don't know the differences between them. You don't know who you should be rooting for. Like, what's the difference between an Apollo Crews and a Dolph Ziggler, really? I mean, I don't know what any of them are thinking about. I don't know what they're fighting for. I don't know why I should be rooting for them. Who cares? But with this, wow, what a backstory. You know what I mean? Really gripping, really compelling. Really good. Bailey being dragged over to the corner. We got 19 minutes to go. Austin says, do you think they'll have Xia Li dethrone Io? Eventually they could. I mean, there's no denying she is a much bigger star in my eyes now, Xia Li. I mean, before she was a woman that came down, won the occasional match. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, man, I can't wait to see her return. How they present her. What if she's got a new move set? You know, are the old folk going to be around as well? I don't know. And what about Boa as well? And what's her relationship with Boa? And do you know what I mean? Like, is there going to be a hatred between the two of them because she's had to beat him up? But I think he would understand. It's not her fault. She's been told to do it, but or is there a respect between them because they both went through that ordeal at the same time? Are they going to help each other out to ensure they don't lose matches? You know, will Xia Li get involved in Boa matches? Will Boa help Xia Li? I don't know. There's so much intrigue and mystery around it. I'm really on board. I was liking it before we stopped watching. When they were coming down and they were giving out those envelopes, I was into that. I love a good envelope. Who doesn't? I'm hoping to get some for Christmas. I could have them with my multivitamins and my beanie. Some envelopes. Nice takedown. But the thing is, like, when she comes up to the main roster, if she's still got that, she's going to come up like a killer. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be like, Xia Li is here. That's what I miss. I miss that. It's Xia Li. This roster, they haven't got a clue. They're all fighting to be the best. She's fighting for her life. This is a good little match, by the way. I know I'm not giving it the respect it deserves because we got, you know, stuck into a bit of a conversation there. But Bianca picking up Bayley. Real show of strength. But Bayley powering out of it, grabbing hold of the arm. Smashing Bianca face first. Bayley 1, 2, 3, and it's Bayley that gets the win. So Bayley beats Bianca. I think that's the right call. I think Bianca will get there eventually, but she shouldn't get there at the first time of trying. So there we go. Bayley gets the win. I'm perfectly fine with that. She was champion for a long time. Good little match. Days NXT at one point had Lars, Adam Cole, Ricochet, Alistair, Gargano, Keith all together. Do you think, compared to that roster, to the current roster, is anywhere near in terms of depth and quality? I feel like it's probably not a million miles away. I feel like there is quality there. Maybe it's not got the same star power, but I feel like there is still quality there. But I just think they struggle booking a 2-hour show, to be honest. I feel like NXT's problems very similar to Raw's problems. Raw struggles with doing 3 hours, and I think NXT struggles with 2. Right, we're down to the final 15 minutes. This show. Firefly Inferno match. Yeah. We're going to have to find out how this plays out. They still haven't mentioned what it is, though. They still haven't come out and actually said what it is. Okay, looks like Roman's coming back out again. So Roman is doing a promo, maybe? I don't know. Roman and Jay making their way down. Roman, yeah. Bianca should have won. 2007 was the last Inferno match, says Benson. I don't think that's true. I think we've had one recently. Can't remember what it was though. Belair versus Bayley was great, says Harley. Dad Stuff says, Days, Daniel Bryan has been known to love putting over young talent. Who do you see being that in the women's division? Natalya, I think she does love working with young talent. I think that she is someone that they use to put over new talent when they first arrive. Not only new talent, but just anyone that needs to work with a legit performer. So, you know, it's no surprise that they put Natalya with Lana for a while, for example. But it does tend to be if someone comes up, they'll do a match with Natalya quite early. And I do think Natalya enjoys that. And I think Natalya just loves wrestling and loves having a purpose. I mean, I think she understands that. Do you know what I mean? She's probably not the person that they're going to use as champion. Not when you've got your Charlottes, your Beckys, your Sashas, your Baileys, and all of that. But she's definitely got a role. And that is, you know, she should be, when she retires, having a trainer's job at the Performance Center. Absolutely. That is a no-brainer. She should be training at the PC. She should be one of the trainers. So, yeah, I'd say Natalya is that person at the moment. Nico Guy says, NXT had so much talent. Now, half of them aren't even in the shoes anymore. Belair is the future, says William. Eric says, having Roman and Kevin appear on the show a lot is not a bad idea, but they don't need to overdo it. I agree. I don't think they needed to be in so many segments. I think what they'd done up to this point was fine. I don't think they needed to be in the main event as well. It must show, though, the analytics, the indicators must be that this is working. To have him start the show, have him all throughout the show, little segments, and then have him close the show. I mean, flipping out. Friday nights are basically Roman Reigns night. And I'm fine with it, as long as we don't overdo it. Alex's random question for the stream. If you had to pick a random failed gimmick and give... Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Alex's random stream question has been deleted. RIP Alex's random question 2020 to 2020. You will be missed. We are going back to the final 10 minutes. Days, when are you going to pop a vitamin on stream? I don't think kids should see that, Monica. I think there's some things that have to be done off stream because they're a little bit too extreme. I know that USA Network want more adult content, but I'm not looking to bring adult content to the streams. So, do you know what I mean? Taking drugs is something that I think I have to do off camera. Sorry, once you start, they are very addictive. And I think taking addictive drugs on stream is a really bad example. So I won't do it. I won't do it. Say no to drugs, guys. Say no to drugs. No! No! There we go. Powerful message. This powerful message was brought to you by the Wrestling Days organization. I'm an organization now. Right, we've got Roman in the ring staring blankly. Paul Heyman gives him a microphone. I've been trying to understand something. Trigonometry. It's hard, innit? Algebra. I mean, why are we mixing letters with numbers? If you've got the opportunity to be in the ring with me, if you've got an opportunity to go to the Island of Relevancy, do you think the Island of Relevancy is COVID-free? Why would you blow it? Why would you blow it? This is the kind of thing that your kids will talk about. Kevin Owens' music interrupts Roman, and Paul Heyman can't believe it. Paul Heyman. Here he is, look. Hobbly McGrew. Kevin Owens on his way. Here comes Batman, says it's Lizzie. Owens. With a chair. Boom! In the midsection to Jey Uso and across the back. Jey Uso. Rubbish. Jey Uso slowed Kevin Owens down by about 5 seconds. Super kick by Jey. Roman against the ropes. Spear by Roman. Tell you what, it doesn't look fun on the island of relevancy, does it? I think there's better holiday destinations. Look at Roman. He's like, what is up with this guy? Roman with a chair. We got tables coming in. We got chairs being thrown in. Tons of furniture on the island of relevancy. Furniture everywhere. You never lost for tables and chairs. Table being set up. Jim says Roman's ego is so big that only Tom Cruise's ego is bigger. Yes. Big chair shot. Couple of tables set up in the ring. How long do you think Roman's got the Universal? I think he'll have it a long time. I mean, we don't quite know who his opponent at WrestleMania is, but if it is Goldberg, Roman's retaining. Oh, that table was a nasty. Kevin Owens holding the back of his head. Roman says, I want that one. Get that table. I want that one. Yeah, I know. Right. Kevin Owens has been put through that table. He's going to go through another. Is he going to make it till Sunday? What if Kevin Owens can't make it and then The Rock on Talking Smack's like, I'm free? Ooh, you chose to pee me off. Samoan drop. He's got KO on his shoulders. Yeah. Samoan drops him through the table. He just can't get his head around it, Roman. Can't get his head around it. Just don't understand. Oh. He was on the island of relevancy. Why is he throwing it away? Tables being smashed into Kevin Owens. People chanting for Goldberg. What, you think Goldberg this Sunday? Do you know what? Don't rule it out. Don't rule it out. If Goldberg comes down now, don't rule it out. How long we got? 5 minutes. I mean, look, they are chucking all the tables, ladders, chairs getting thrown in. Look at it. There's no way. After this, there's no way. Michael Cole says, can someone stop this? Ladders, tables, chairs being hurled on top of Kevin Owens. He is battered here. Jey Uso is just throwing stuff outside of the ring. They're saying this could be the end of KO. He's down and out. He's not even moving. He's unconscious. Look. Man, this is scenes. You gotta say, this is good. This is good. This is why Roman is by far the best thing in WWE right now. Look at this scene. Look at that there. Look at the smile on his face as well as he walks away. I think we're definitely at the point now where Jey Uso is fully on board with this. Jey Uso couldn't have thrown any more stuff in the ring if he tried. Kevin Owens on Sunday can't fight. We're backstage. Here's Kayla. Kayla's like, can I have a word? Kevin Owens is starting to stir. Kayla walks away. Owens gets a chair. Sits on the chair. He's got a microphone. Look at the face of Roman now. Roman! Nothing you or your family do to me will keep me down. At TLC, I'll take that Universal title or I will die trying. How long's he got? 48 hours? He's got to be feeling the effects of this 48 hours later. Well, there we go. That's the end of the show. Great ending. Compelling ending. I did expect someone to come out. I'm not going to lie. I did think, oh, someone will come out. Something's going to happen. But very interesting ending. The Nico guy says, my man is built like a machine. Thank you. Thank you. I have been doing a few little bits and bobs. I'm glad you noticed. I appreciate that. 8 out of 10 from Eric. 725 from Brony. This is making KO look amazing. He takes all this punishment and can get back up. Basti gives it an 8. That was amazing. Roman is very angry on his island. He is, isn't he? Guy, if I had my own island, I wouldn't be angry in the slightest. Yeah, come over. We'll have cocktails. But he is just not that way at all, is he? He is not that way at all. Success, treats people different, doesn't it? It's clearly got to Roman. He's got his own island. He's at the point where he's got his own island and he's turned into a bit of a tool. Kevin is dead on Sunday, says Eric. What about Aleister Black? I don't know what they're doing with him. Diego, it's the vitamins. It is the vitamins. Wrestle with Andy says, the greatest night in the history of our sport. Hard to argue. Shout out to you, Wrestle with Andy. Hope you are well. Sean Reset says, days, 9. John says 7.5. Zachary, 6.5. 1987, big fan, gives it a 6. Heather says 6.5. Brony says 7.25. Benson says 8. Austin says 7. Trey Gaming says 7.25. Harley says 7.5. Monica says 7.75. A 10 out of 10 ending says 21. Austin 316 says 7. Hat Kid says 7. Oscar says 8.5. BBB what? Ypsilanti says 7.25. Too Risky Callan says this is like when Mosley wouldn't stay down against Brock. Moxley wouldn't stay down against Brock. Days, don't forget we are having a special must-see Raw after TLC as our favourite Eva Marie is probably going, oh my god. I do not need that this side of Christmas. Can't they just let me have Christmas first? Just let me have Christmas first. Yeah? Because otherwise I'm going to be sitting there eating my turkey. Just like... like an old club. 7.5. 9 out of 10 says David. I love that ending. Talking Smack has started. I can't watch it. It's not on flipping BT Sport, so I can't see it. I wonder if can I find it? Can I find it? If I can find it, then I'll try and watch it. Let's have a look. I'll see if I can find it, and then I will chuck my score in. Talking Smack, yep. Talking Smack's on now. But I don't have it. But I'm going to see if I can find it. I'm not going to run away if I can get it. I'm very interested to see what The Rock has got to say. But after that, I mean, like, I don't know. What can he say? It's on FS1, isn't it? Have I even got that channel through these questionable means? Oh, I've got Nickelodeon. I didn't know I had that. Apparently, I can get Nickelodeon on my phone. I did not know that. FX, don't want that. BBC One, already got that. ITV, already got that. Food Network. Interesting. Not right now. Wow! All the channels? I didn't know I had most of these channels. Why is FS1 so hard to find? Flippity doodah. FS1. No. No. Is it online? FS1. Watch.
Hayden Garrett is a legend. They donated $2 New Zealand via a super chat. I enjoyed appearing in WWE Thunderdome.
Cool. Hope you had fun. I don't know what this is. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I don't trust it. Days, I use that method. Well, I'm just going to the channel. I don't know what you mean. All I'm doing is just going to FS1. Skip ad, allow. Do you want notifications? No, I don't care. I don't want to be rewarded. I don't want to be rewarded. Just give me the channel. The Gym King. What? They're playing silly beggars with me here. They're playing silly beggars. Always show pop-up ads. God only knows what I've downloaded onto my phone now. Oh, hello. 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 Is it working? Oh, come on. I just said hello out loud. Everyone thinks I found it, so you've got to work. I don't want a flipping loyalty thing. Oh, this is a nightmare. I feel like I am getting somewhere, but equally you need to know it's a nightmare. I need you to know that. Yeah?
It is what you do.
I don't do rants, and I don't have a rant. If I were to have a rant...
Here we go. We got Paul Heyman with Kayla. Let's change this over to Talking Smack. I want to know what Rock's going to say. Paul Heyman's taking his time here. He says, you have a fighter. I found it, Joaquin. I found it. Paul Heyman cutting a promo at the moment on Talking Smack. Do you think Big E... Oh, it's gone. Daisy's really happy about watching Talking Smack. I just want to see what The Rock's going to say.
Joaquin Iribe is a legend. They donated $4.99 via a super chat. Tom Days The Rock just called out CM Punk, you're missing the greatest thing.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if that's what he did? Paul Heyman says, I fear Kevin Owens. Because I fear what Kevin Owens is going to bring out in Roman. That's good, isn't it? He fears Kevin because he's worried what Kevin is going to bring out of Roman. Days Roman should do late night show appearances in full tribal chief character, exactly like he did to Kayla, but to Fallon and Colbert and Noah. Yeah, I agree. Does Trevor Noah have guests? I don't really watch The Daily Show, and by don't really watch, I mean I don't watch The Daily Show. I've seen a few of the clips. I mean, it's fine, it looks good, but I don't really watch it. I don't watch Corden either, James Corden. I do like Colbert. Right, Paul Heyman doing Paul Heyman things. Kevin versus Roman is going to be great, says Wrestling Days fan. Trevor Noah does have guests. Okay. Hashtag illegal days. How have you got it going? I just changed the channel on my TV. Turns out that I've got FS1 right next to BT Sport. Don't ask me what channel number it is. I can't remember. Right, we are moving on. They're talking about Sasha. They have not mentioned The Rock at all. They didn't mention that The Rock was going to be on this during the show. They've not mentioned The Rock at any point that I've been watching Talking Smack. So
Brian Schaffer is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat.
Brian.
Ow, 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 ow,
Yeah.
ow,
Yeah.
ow,
Yeah.
ow.
And let's get into that vibe. That was a sick beat that you had going there, Brian. Shout out to you. Shout out to Brian and his sick beat. Kind of felt like the start of a hip-hop track. For a second, I thought I was Jay-Z. Carmela is on Talking Smack. Morgul says, I love Colbert. He's a funny dude. Anthony says, Days is in the Dome. I'm nowhere near the O2. Santa Claus says, we want Santa Days. This is your time of year, Santa. I'm throwing over to you, right? You get that spotlight now. One time a year, you get that sweet spotlight. It's all yours. Days, did they mention The Rock on the show? No, not that I've seen or heard, no. Not unless he's drastically changed his look and he now looks like Carmella. Carmella is the guest at the moment. Before that, we heard from Paul Heyman. It ended too soon, says Austin316. Eric says, Days, Bianca needed the win more than Bayley. Bayley was the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. That win does not do anything for her. And like Bianca, imagine beating Bayley in the first match. I have to disagree. I think that Bayley is the measuring stick, as Bianca said. Bayley is, if you can beat Bayley, then you are at the top of the division. It would feel a bit soon to say that Bianca is at the top of the division. I understand that, you know, you've got to be the champion to be at the top, but Bayley had that belt for most of this year, and people couldn't beat her for various different reasons. So if Bianca had been able to have done that, I don't know. I wouldn't have outright hated it, but I equally don't hate Bayley winning either. I think it's a really good feud. It's a feud that Bianca should get the better of, but individual matches like this, I don't think she should. It's going to mean so much more when she does beat her. When Bianca does beat Bayley, that'll be a big deal. Shouldn't be at the first time of trying. Carmela says, I won the first and the second Money in the Bank matches. And I beat Charlotte Flair for the title. Who's the history maker here? Talking about how she won the mixed match challenge with R-Truth. Is she a 2-time 24/7 champ? I can't remember her winning that 24/7 belt. How many times has she smashed champagne off my head? And Booker T starts laughing. Carmela says, I'll tell you what happens on Sunday. I'm going to win the championship again. She's getting a bit worked up, man. No diss. Booker T says, no diss. No diss. Oh, a bit of sass. Coming up next, we got the Street Profits. Where was this report about The Rock? It was absolutely everywhere before we started streaming, and there's just no mention. Is this what they're going to start doing now? Sending out fake reports that The Rock's going to be on. Is there going to be a report that The Rock is on Raw on Monday? Guys, make sure you tune in, because The Rock is going to be there. Is he? Yeah. Maybe this is just the new trick. It's clever. Give him that. It's clever. 24/7 title. Why should anyone care? Wow. It's a belt, innit? A flipping ugly one, but it is a belt. They did mention him on the show, so don't worry. They did mention The Rock. Oh, no, well, if they did, then it was before I managed to get to the show. The show had already started by the time I got to it. Okay, well, that's cool. I always believed in him. I knew that if they said The Rock was going to be here, The Rock would be here. I did. That's what I believed. Roman versus Hangman Page. What's your opinion on this match? Roman wins. I like Hangman, but I don't see him as kind of being on Roman's level. Did you see Colbert's Christmas card episode on YouTube where Colbert and his wife were being cute? No. They announced The Rock would be on during SmackDown. Oh, was it on SmackDown? Oh, no, I totally didn't hear that. No, because they showed the graphic and he wasn't on the graphic. So, if they mentioned it on commentary... This is so weird. I don't understand. Why are they going, oh, by the way, The Rock's going to be on? Why wasn't he on the graphic and all of this? I mean, I was literally sitting here going, hang on, he's not there. Look, Carmella, Street Profits, Kevin Owens, where's The Rock? But instead they just went, oh, yeah, fun fact, The Rock's going to be on as well. I thought Talking Smack was Saturday mornings, says Lister Jericho. What do you think about Big Swole? I really like her presentation. I like her as a person. Like obviously she's the partner of Cedric Alexander. She's someone that, you know, has paid her dues. I mean, she was in the Mae Young Classic as Ariel Monroe. So I like her. I like the fact that she's got, you know, job in AEW, and I want to see her succeed. But I am struggling to find good Big Swole matches, and if anything, there's been quite a few botches in recent matches. I really liked her feud with Britt Baker, but I do agree that the tooth and nail match was not what any of us wanted. So I think the end of that feud was poor. But I liked the little back and forth they were having. I think she brings some attitude, some sass, can't even say it, sass, and intensity. She definitely brings intensity. So I think she's got some strengths, but she needs good matches. Right, we are going back to talking about... How long is this show on for anyway? I don't know. How long is it on for? Is it on for about half an hour? Okay, so The Rock with... Oh, here we go. Jay Glazer interviewing The Rock. So I don't think this is The Rock actually, like, talking. I think this is just a preview of an interview he's done with Jay Glazer. It's interesting. The Rock segment is on now, but it is just a pre-taped bonus segment. Yeah, it's a bit underwhelming, isn't it? Maybe this is why he wasn't on the graphic. Maybe this is why they didn't make a massive deal out of it. So, yeah, it is just The Rock talking like about moments in his career. It's just like an interview with The Rock. Oh. Future Compilation says, that's it. Brony says, that's it. Just talking about his past. Harley says, surely not. Nico says it's not about the storyline. LSW says that was rubbish. All the trouble I went to get an illegal stream as well. And this is how I'm treated. I should call the police. I should call the police and report at what I've been through tonight. I had to go to all the trouble of trying to find this godforsaken channel. All for this. There he is and there he goes. I wasn't expecting that, says Monica. I mean, this... It was us sitting here going like, oh, what if The Rock's going to announce he's going to be in the Rumble? And all, oh my God. No, instead he's talking about what it was like to join the Nation of Domination. How dare they do this to me? How dare they? I'm not even going to stick with this show. I'm so upset with this show, I've left it. I've walked away. Unbelievable. Police lights, yeah. They've wasted my life.
Wacky Niribi is a legend. They donated $1.99
sure
via a super chat.
Unless he did it in
Tom
code.
The Rock called out CM Punk lol.
Flippity flip. I thought SmackDown was fine. There wasn't really much that blew my mind. I think Bailey Bianca was good. I think the ending was good. Equally, I wasn't really into like that tag match. The Carmella thing was, you know, whatever. I kind of feel like, yeah, it was fine. Yeah, I mean, I could be convinced to go to a 7. But I'm not going to. Because The Rock has upset me. The Rock? Who thought I would say that today? When I woke up this morning, I did not expect the sentence, The Rock has upset me. Because he's wasted my life, or at least part of my life. A significant part of my life. Unbelievable. The amount of trouble I went to. I think my phone is wrecked now because I've got like pop-up ads and everything that are just going to keep coming up. I think I've allowed like notifications on some really dodgy sites. I don't even know what's going to happen now. I'm probably being hacked by the Russians again. Who knows? They're probably watching right now. So, yeah, as a result of all of that, it's gone drastically wrong. So, thanks, Rock. Unbelievable. Right, we are done anyway. Thank you so much to everyone that joined us tonight. Really do appreciate you joining us. We are back tomorrow. Big stream tomorrow. And don't worry, the slight audio issues that we've experienced, I will watch the stream back and see how bad the audio was, how quiet it was. This is it to the max. I can't get any more juice out of this. But as I said, I do have another microphone, so I will look into it. So don't worry. We will get it sorted. TLC is going to be fine, okay? And we've got UFC tomorrow, starting early. Don't forget that. We've got TLC, starting early. Don't forget that. I'm going to do my predictions beforehand. They're super obvious, and it's going to be super dull, but I'll do it. So we've got TLC. Monday we got Raw. Wrestling Escape Pod on Tuesday. AEW on Wednesday. Special Christmas Eve members-only stream on Thursday. SmackDown on Christmas Day. And then it's only we're going straight through till Boxing Day. I don't even know what's happening on Boxing Day. I might have that as my Star Wars day. I don't know. Honestly, if I've got a brand new beanie and you know, my multivitamins, I might just take that as my Star Wars thing. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't want to say. Right now, I'm just angry with The Rock. Right now, that's all that's going through my mind. So, right, guys, awesome. Thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.